Bring it in, bring it in. Raise your glass, have a toast real quick. For those who know, you know. For the first time listeners, this is just something that we do all the time. Thank y'all for riding with us so far who do know. But we all fall, but we say don't trip. We all been called, but all stall a bit. We all stand tall until that time we slip. Just admit, without the grace of God, I'm really bad at this. Man, what's been going on, fellas, this week? What have you been really, 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 really bad at this week? Buki, anything amazing happened this week?
What amazing happened this week? Nothing too much. Me and my wife, we've been hanging out at the parks lately.
What's that?
After church on Sundays, we just been having a little picnic.
Yeah,
with a couple of little kids from the church. We be taking some of the kids she watched. We just been hanging out at the park in Bellflower. Our new little thing and get out the house and chill.
Taking notes over here.
Yeah.
Throw the blanket down on the grass. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about that old school love?
There it is.
The picnic basket. You know what I'm saying?
The picnic basket.
Get my Yogi beer on. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, for real. Some of them baskets is fly. So that's dope. Doing something like that with the wifey.
Just something little different.
That's dope. That's dope.
Until football season come, you know what I mean? I got to put all that time in. Cause you already know. Once football season, once that done. Yeah, baby.
But what's so dope is that you're wise. This is a wise man.
Yeah.
Y'all take notes. You see what he's doing? He's putting that time in. He's putting because when he said what time it happens, that's it.
Wise like an ant, like the Bible says.
Hey.
Gather everything together.
That's right. Brothers put in that time, and then you don't have to worry about it when it comes to your time and you want to go do something. Hey, man.
Hey, did you get to New College?
Yeah, I got it for my son. I haven't played it yet.
Oh, that's good.
I've been too busy.
I cannot buy that.
Why is that? Is that dope?
I won't come up for air. I spend the first week just putting together a playbook. I wouldn't even play the game. I would not come up for air for a long time.
The boy said he'd be working on his playbook before he even.
Oh yeah, it's real serious.
No, I couldn't even buy a PS5. Like I didn't even buy one. I'm like, I don't do well with this.
Hey,
I be skipping church. I be skipping calling out work.
You know what? That's horrible. I hate that. I hate to hear that. Y'all need to get y'all a PS5, man. Just learn how to control yourself, man. Enjoy yourself, man.
That's how I control myself, man. You know
how many cats I hear say that? Like, man, I can't get, man. If I had that, man, I'd just be gone. They said that when I first was into my VR, and I got my VR like 3 years ago. And dudes was like, man, if I did that, Jason Morgan was one of them. I couldn't get that, man. If I got that, I just would be. I'm like, dude, control yourself, have some fun, bro.
I'm gonna tell you, like,
everything gets old, bro. You won't be stuck like that, bro.
You're not
that young.
It's too much technology for this college football for it to get old. That joint can get old. It had to take like 2-3 years.
You got a family, James.
You
got a life that you love. My thing is that works only for cats who ain't got a life that they love, bro.
All right.
Then I would be like, nah, bro, you don't need to do that because you ain't gonna strive.
You about to have this man in marriage counseling,
right? That's not. No, he not. He gonna be like, Jay, I'm so glad.
Over SC.
No, he not. He gonna be like, Jay, I'm so glad.
I had to have supernatural intervention. Like my pastor never talks about video games, but I spent like 1 month just neglecting my family playing football, and that man, I don't know if Anna snitched on me or not, but that man preached about being a real man, and he included put them video games down.
Nah,
I'm not supposed to take that as Jesus yelling at me.
Well, I mean,
I spent Buki, just the timeline. You the timeline guy. I spent a whole month playing Madden. I didn't come up for air at all. I'm talking about my wife. Not sure if I'm okay. She like, are you good? And then at the end of that, my pastor, who I signed up to listen to, preaches a message about manhood and says, y'all get off them video games. I wasn't supposed to hear that from Jesus.
Nah, I hear you.
I took it like, all right,
and we did have classic battles in that Bill Walsh, though.
Hey,
Florida State, Miami. Yeah.
See?
We used to go at
reminiscing back in the day.
Yeah, it was dope.
I feel that.
So I think that's my way of self-control. Is like, I'm not going to even do it. Like, I'm going to do something extreme. I'm not buying the PS5.
But here's the thing, and this is the thing that I wrestle with, because I have to raise my child up to be not just a black and white type of person who just has to remember all of these yes or no answers, because some stuff is not just yes or no, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how do you raise them up if that's the case? And you have to raise them up to be able to navigate and know when something is too much. Like you clearly know for yourself that is too much for me. If I get into that, I'll just start neglecting stuff. And if you clearly know that about something, that's cool. And stay away, I would totally agree. Yeah. Whatever that is, right?
For sure.
But we tend to, and this is for people who like play video games and we are healthy with it, and it's okay. It's okay. We don't disappear on our families and then like that, right? We have to hear that, and then it's like, oh, so I can't play video games. And I don't have the same issue as James. So the same dude is sitting there hearing that same sermon on that Sunday, and he has to navigate differently. Like, just because that was said, that doesn't mean everybody in the room needs to walk away with it the same way that you may have. But it was clear to you, like, oh yeah, he's talking to me, obviously, as I wrap up my season of being, in the whole, playing video games. So that's dope. But we want to, be able to raise children to navigate that and know when it's that and when it's, not. Because you can make somebody else feel weird about something that they don't even have a problem with. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because then they just think video games is taboo.
That's right. Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? And
don't go that far. Yeah.
Don't push it, because I'll never hear preachers be like, it's okay to play games in moderation. They'll say all kind of stuff in moderation, but never video game. And I'm specifically about video game. It's always demonized. But anyway,
and them games got good. Man.
I tell everybody, everybody at the church know that Bookie will fellowship from January to August.
Late August.
Mm-hmm.
After that, you ain't gonna see me again till January, because it's Monday night football, Thursday night football, Sunday night football.
and you rested in all the rest of those days. You rested between those. But all of that.
I got fantasy football.
But here's the thing.
Moves, I got everything going on.
And I think that's dope, because that's something that you love, right? It's a passion. That's something that you probably loved for a long time. Played, all that. Coached. All that. You really love it, right? And I think that's a beautiful thing. God gives us these things to enjoy like that, but we have a tendency, because of who we are, just broken, human beings, to overdo it in these areas, to where it's like he don't want to talk to nobody, blackout, whatever. But see, if you're, like in his case, a married man who loves his football like this, he knows it's also wise, and we was laughing, but it's also wise to put in that time when it ain't football season.
Yeah.
And be with your girl, and you guys have an understanding, because she knows this too. Obviously, his wife know he got this passion too. And to see somebody work together and still have their pleasures and have fun is cool too. Yeah, everything don't have to be like, well, no, because I'm gonna just crack out. but we all got our stuff to watch, and I'm be the first to be like, yeah. But speaking of that, getting too much, you said something about being jumped on and ambushed this week. That's what's going on with you, James.
I got ambushed in the prayer meeting. Y'all gonna know how this feel. Have y'all ever had a moment in the group prayer settings? It's only the group prayer settings that this happens.
Yeah.
Like a Bible study or whatever, however you ended up with 5, 7, 25 people in a prayer meeting.
Yeah.
And somebody want to tell Jesus all their troubles, man. And it's just awkward, dog.
Yeah.
It's awkward. So I was trying to pray, but I ended up, when it went this far left, I'm like, I got to hit the record button. So I recorded a little bit. God forgive me. I recorded a little bit of this, because it was an awkward moment in the prayer meeting.
Just
go ahead, man. I think y'all will understand.
Because I became a grandparent does not automatically make me the babysitter or the daycare. True grandparents, they're supposed to raise their children right, to where Lord, when y'all start having kids, y'all can financially provide for your own children and secure their daycare, so you can go to work, so you can go out, so you can do anything else.
Amen. Amen.
Parents are supposed to be able to come to your house and stay with you and visit with their grandkids. You're supposed to be able to drop your kids off when your grandparents call for them.
Yes, Lord.
And in their leisure time. Grandparents are not supposed to be daycares.
Yes, Lord.
Everybody's time is valuable. We have our own life. We work very hard to get everybody out of the house. Why would you want to raise your kids and keep your kids? That's out of order.
Amen. Amen. Bro.
Really?
That's what I was sitting through, dog. They was going off on God. Like, they was going off.
Oh, my God.
I'm trying to be like, okay, Jesus.
What do you do?
I know you said we could come as you are and cast your cares and all this, but this...
What do you do, though?
I don't know, man.
What did you do?
Clearly, I hit record, but man, it was weird, bro. It was weird listening to somebody rant in their prayer.
Rant?
Just ranting. I'm like, I don't know if this the type of prayer meeting we supposed to be having right now. Y'all ain't never been ambushed in prayer like this where somebody just goes off. Like
imprecatory prayers, like praying that their enemies' ankles be broken. Stuff like that. Like that would be kind of weird, but it is in the Bible. It is weird. People like praying. Like I've seen that before, but yeah, I don't know if I'm into it though.
It was bad, bro. I was like, "What's going on?" And it went on for a while. I know we clowned it, but it went on for a while. Like,
did nobody try to stop it? Like interrupt it with some?
So here's what happened. I come in a little bit late. I'm the only one at the table, so I ain't got no help. It's different little clusters, everybody done clicked up.
I already know. Yeah.
So I done came in and tried to help out the one table. Yeah. Somebody dipped on me like, I gotta go. And then so I'm stuck with the imprecatory prayer just going off.
Lord, smite them. They were short this week on the rent that they owe.
It was rough.
So make it rough on them on this week that's coming up. Make sure they, need something like sandwich meat. and they'll have the bread, they'll have the mayonnaise, and they'll have the mustard, but they won't have the meat, Lord. Just make sure they don't have the meat
and but it was like this.
Think about how they owe me in that moment when you make that happen. But it was
this far. If it was that, it would have been this. And God, we don't need to be eating this kind of high cholesterol meat. No way. That's how it was going.
Lord have mercy.
I'm like, what's going on? What's going on?
And we asking you to heal our bodies, and we eating Popeyes as soon as we leave here.
God, we don't need no Popeyes. We don't need no Popeyes. Although I thank you for the coupons that you let the people bring us.
Lord have mercy.
I'm like, bro, what we doing right now?
I don't know.
What are we doing?
I don't like when people do the prayers. That don't happen too much. That happened at different churches, different circles way back in the day. But I don't see people doing that. I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I'm like in the middle of a prayer circle and I'm noticing that somebody's abusing the moment. What would I do?
You make your amens louder. That's what you do to try to bully. You do the bully.
Nah, amen. But then I'm scared. I'm hyping them.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? They be like, amen. They be like, yes, and I'll slap them twice. You really fired them up. And all you doing is saying amen. And I don't want to do that.
The craziest circles is when you know who they talking about, though.
Oh.
And you just like, oh, man, she talking about you, dog. She talking about you. You better go pick up little Shay Shay. Stop leaving her with Bob's.
Cause she
open your eyes a little bit.
You like,
open your eyes to see. You look at your one prayer homie like, hey, dog.
And then everybody be stuck except the person that she talking about. And then he be hot. That person be hot. So everybody's stuck and still. Then you look at, and that one person just hot.
Just bad.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Nah, I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I don't be thinking like none of that stuff is cool.
It
be
was
playing
funny, man.
Church like that. I don't care who doing it. I
was just sitting there like, God, weird. I'm sorry. I'm not in the spirit anymore.
I am totally focused on all the wrong things right now, Lord. I am totally not here with everybody. Sorry.
I was like, sorry, God. I wish all my boys was here to hear this. So I'm taking it back.
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, I start laughing in the prayer circle, bro.
It was rough.
Yeah, me too, Bookie. I probably would do a snicker like, man, so inappropriate. It feel horrible, but it would have to be bad though. For
It was like that.
It would have to be bad for me to feel that way.
Like those moments where it'd be like Mother's Day and you get that poem.
Oh Lord, boy, man, I wish I could have been there for that moment. God. You have seen it. I've only heard it. It's a legend.
Oh, it's a legend to
me. It's a legend.
It traveled around
it traveled to your city. It would bless y'all one Sunday. It most definitely blessed us.
Everybody was stuck like, what?
Yeah, man. You got to screen the stuff you're going to let people do.
Oh, my God.
Spooky, that's why we in therapy now, bro. Trust me. That's why we in therapy now, man. That generation, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, old folks generation, man, they didn't say anything, and you just got to take it. Like,
we went through a lot, bro. They went through a lot, bro.
We was raised by wolves for sure, man. That generation, wild. I love them. They wild.
Well, I don't know. Not much happened with me this week. I'm still adjusting a little bit time wise. I think I'm almost 100% back. Like yesterday felt cool, and right now, like today felt halfway, like 100%.
Like that. This man said it was 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday, and it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon Sunday at home. Like that man was in the future. It was weird.
This is the whack part about you be in the future, Buki, with no lotto numbers, nigga. It's no way until I figure that out, man. It's not gonna be worth it going back in time. It's cool because when you come back, it's like when you leave, you come back the same day. So when I left on the 28th, it said I came back, on the 28th in LA.
Got that day back.
Yeah, that's wild.
So it's kind of like you get the day back, but
that's dope.
Other than that, just an adjustment, and I wanted to share a little bit about therapy checkup. It's been like over a month now I've been in therapy, fellas, and let me tell you.
How many sessions?
Let me tell you, probably about 5 at this point.
For real?
Yeah,
that's dope.
Dope. I got a black woman. First of all, that was important. Somebody who I could culturally connect with. And mention things and be relevant, culturally relevant things that we take for granted. But when you're talking and getting counsel from people, it's kind of important that they know these things, so you don't have to be sitting there explaining Juneteenth to somebody, like how significant that is to our people, and then expound on it. Not to say somebody couldn't work with somebody outside their ethnicity. It's just my choice. And from the research and the reading I did before I sought one, it seemed to be a thing to consider, and I did. But anyway, and then my brother, who's a licensed therapist, is the person I reached out to find somebody. He gave me the network, and digging in that network, I found this sister, and she's dope. So over a month of doing it, it's dope. What it is it's very helpful for me. It's probably a lot of different things for a lot of different people. But for me, it is helpful to help navigate relational situations that in the past I'd just be like, whatever. But it's something that is bothering me. And I'm trying to figure out how to maneuver it. How did I take it? Am I overthinking it? Am I putting extras on it? Or is it something that I need to address because that's why it's bothering me? And I'm talking about every relationship. I'm not just talking about wifey.
Yeah.
But she's the first one to be impacted, and the one who probably is impacted the most. She's not the only. So anyway, I found it to be very helpful in that, and sorting through overdoing it. Because you ever hear somebody say, hey, man, I'm an overthinker, and man, I just overanalyze things too much, and I don't know. And what do they say? Analysis paralysis and all that stuff. That's real. But when is it cool to go? When is it cool to fall back? When is it, hey, man, you need to just be patient or whatever? And if you have maybe challenges in maneuvering like that, I know I do. It helps. And it's just like you unloading a lot of stuff on one person who's taking notes and taking notes of patterns and things that you're saying and helping you navigate better. So it's dope, but it's not like a one size fit all. I don't think it's just something that everybody could just jump in and it'll be helpful. I don't sell it in that sense, but I think for people who really need somebody to help them navigate and just know that it would probably be helpful to talk to somebody, it's helpful. It's helpful. And Charlemagne the God, one of the least likely people probably to motivate me in this area, was most definitely, if I haven't said that like publicly, was most definitely significant in kickstarting my situation after reading his first book, Shook Ones, and then I read the second one called Black something.
Now, we don't rock
Black Privilege.
We don't rock with him with a whole lot of stuff, but that, I think, was a great contribution he made to the culture. Just
absolutely
bringing that to the table, normalizing.
I'm reading this story.
For black men, right?
Yeah, and I'm just reading his story and enjoying. I mean, if you can listen to him on the radio, you can listen to his audiobook. That's how he got me.
Yeah.
And he's just telling this story, and he's talking about all the little stuff he did, all the little hood stuff he got involved in, cases he caught, and all kind of stuff. And through that, going through all that little stuff, even all the 90s partying, how we did and how we lived it up or what have you, he just got to a point realizing how all that stuff had, negatively affected him. And his wife really pushed him to a point like, man, you need to really probably go see somebody and start talking. And he did, and explored it and talked about how helpful it was for him, and now how he's big on that, and he pushes that because he pushed it from a real place and how it's helped him. But now I see, going through the process myself. So I just think that's dope. And I love to give credit where credit is due. So that's how my week went. What's up?
Yeah, I just love how you brought that up, because I remember Charlemagne bringing that stuff up before the pandemic.
Yep.
And he probably saved lives by helping normalize that before we went through that lockdown.
Absolutely.
That lockdown was crazy. But he had already brought it to the table with shirts and all kind of stuff, talking about, get some help.
It's not normalized in our community. And I'll go a step further. It's not normalized in the Christian community. Now, I know, a dope Christian therapist. I think we both know a dope Christian therapist.
A few.
A few. And my brother being one of them.
Right.
But it's just now, I think, probably in the last, like you say, since the pandemic to now, gotten to a space where it's more normalized amongst people of color. So
yeah, we was
dope.
late.
It's
we
helpful.
was late as usual. I don't mean it to.
I think because it was just taboo in not only like in the church, in the black church, but even in the family. Yeah. A lot of stuff was just swept under the rug.
Yeah.
And in the church, it was just like, pray about it and God will take care of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That kind of issue.
Yep.
But we missed out on a lot of healing.
It is. That's all it is,
going through, yeah.
It's just levels of healing. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I was laughing because this is kind of like a symbol of it. It's like, I've been married to my wife for over 20 years, and it was a thing of hers to always want to hang out and go to the spa, which is a chill thing, which is kind of lead me back to the video game thing and why I'm leaning in on that. You'll see. But I'm like, she like, let's go to the spa, hang out, kick it. We can get massages or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, anybody in a right mind probably would have already, indulged in that with their wife or whatever, like at least once, but not this guy because I'm that crazy, right? But I finally did it like maybe a year ago, right? Now she can't keep me out of it. She just asked me like yesterday.
Here you go with the bud baths and the jacuzzi.
Oh my mama. I'm going back to the bubbles, Boogie. That's now you know where I was going. She's like, my brother and them coming, like her family's coming soon. She was like, and I'm booking, spa joints right now. You want before she could even finish asking me, yes. Do they come with slippers? Are they gonna give me their own slippers? Like, dang, dude, like that for real.
Cucumber waters,
you gonna
mimosas.
Bookie just rolling around. Nigga, I did the mud bath, like, and then come out, and then you gotta take the little shower outside. I'm just out, and I see another brother. We just dapped each other.
That's
like,
it.
We out here, brother.
That's it.
Enjoy it, and I ended up really, really enjoying it, but feeling in a lot of ways being late late to it, and then thinking even taboo in certain ways. Like I always felt like that was stuff women did. Yeah. You did that with your girls, like all that stuff. Like, why would I want to do that? You know, with it until I did it, bruh. And I'm like, oh, okay, because massages ain't no joke. Like, tell them to go deep on it, man. I'm telling you, she could be a little Filipino girl. And you tell them to go hard, and you be like, "Hey, hold up!" They be that good, bro.
I love going to massage parties.
Yeah,
I try to get I bought my wife Massage Envy package, and it built up to like 10 of them. Then I just like cut it. I'm like, babe, you ain't gonna go. So I just don't have time.
Bruh.
My wife not really into it. I'm into it, bro.
I would go every day if the Lord allowed. It would be part of my everyday. Like, all right, let's go. I would be so loose in every meeting. They'd be like, that brother loves to interject and use his arms when because you be so loose. It'll be like, man, I see why people like this. I'm like, Jerrold, you are so late.
Yeah, I had one. And this little Asian chick, she was like a little spider monkey on my back.
That's what I'm saying.
She was on your back?
She was everywhere, crawling on her feet.
Yes.
With her feet crawling up and down. And I can swear she did a backflip or something. Like, did like a Simone Biles triple somersault on my back. And it just, like,
but Buki, were you mad though?
Oh, my.
Not at all.
I might have snored for a minute.
What I'm saying.
I might.
That's when it's almost over. Right there. Once you start snoring, sorry, sir.
And I think she popped my toes. Like, hey, man, them choices. Hey, bro.
Hey, you can't keep me out of it now, bro.
The hot towel on the head, shave, fresh shave, with the hot towel.
Treating ourselves that way, especially black men. Like,
man, self care, baby. I need some self care, man.
Now, it's like we know that phrase now.
Yeah.
We didn't have that phrase in the 90s growing up, as little young lads. We didn't hear people talking about self-care or whatever.
It was conflated with selfish. If you're doing all that for yourself, you're selfish. So it took a long time for us in the church to feel like we could be okay.
Say that again, James.
Self-care a lot of times felt like selfish.
And it still does.
Very toxic.
And I feel, and I've already felt a couple of times having conversations with believers. That's why this is good with believers and going like, I'm learning how to love myself because there's a lot going on. I'm gonna unfold some other stuff. I'm seeing all kind of counselors and stuff in this season, and in due time, I most definitely when I'm free to share more, I will share more. But what I'm learning in this time is, for a very long time, me personally, essentially, I've just been treating myself horribly in certain aspects, right? So when you get around believers and you start saying stuff like, "Oh man, I'm learning how to love myself," and I'm doing some self-care, but you can't help even myself feel this inkling of, oh my God, I'm saying I'm being selfish, and they're hearing like, oh, I'm eating up this Western culture stuff and
loving yourself, brother. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That type vibe.
Yeah. And I'm like, that language I like. But it's like, I don't know no other way to say it. I don't know no other way to articulate that. A part of me not going to the spa and me not doing certain things where I'm discovering is rooted in a lot of me feeling like I'm not worthy of doing those things. And then try to act like, oh, I don't really care. I shouldn't care about those things.
But that's not really the reality.
It's not, James.
So,
so why are you doing that? That sounds like you're treating yourself horribly. Like why? What is that rooted in? And there's a lot of unresolved, I think, trauma, some brokenness there. Pops wasn't there, yada, yada, yada.
Sure.
So at some point, you got to work through it. My brother was good at it, and he worked through it, and it even encouraged him to go into being a therapist.
I was going to ask you that.
Yep. So
I imagine that worked.
That pushed him into that way. So that whole self-discovery and figuring out his own challenges with our father, who was just absent. And the challenge with our father being absent is not absent disappeared. It's like absent went to the other neighborhood, had a whole nother family, obviously figured out how to do it to some degree, even though that didn't work out, went to somebody else, that didn't work out, and now he by himself. The reality is still, you could have been talking to us.
Yeah. It's
through
not-
this whole time. What is that?
Yeah.
What do we have to do with any of them situations? But you chose not to. So how do you work through that? You know.
That's not the same as when somebody's dad passed
There you
early
go.
in a car accident or something.
There you go.
Now, I know my pops. My pops just don't care. You know what I mean? He just dipped.
and have to
That's-
resolve that. You know
What does
I mean?
that say about me? Who am I? Feel that.
And then you go through life, James, and like you think I was contemplating that when we was in high school,
Subconsciously, I bet you were, but not like.
but verbally and talking to people. Do you
we
think
ain't finna talk about that? I'm not talking about that.
Bruh, you know how crazy this conversation is?
what?
On my way here, when James pulled up, I was in the car talking on the phone.
Okay,
I was talking to moms.
okay,
Man, this is crazy because moms is gonna hear this. Mom, I ain't told them nothing.
okay.
Me and mom was sitting in the car, and we were talking about. I was talking about all my friends that I grew up with here in California. None of us had two parents' homes, and then I told her, I said, then my cousins that I kicked it with, tight in Pittsburgh, and my friends in Pittsburgh, none of them had two parent homes. And by you just saying that, it's the
Yep.
same conversation we just had, and it's like, how do we navigate through that, bro?
Yep. And then think about this, Buki. Then a lot of us became fathers.
Yeah.
So how do we navigate through it? What do we use as the blueprint? Because when you have a legacy and you watch your dad and your mom interact, you instinctively
Bingo.
you just boom, you pick
Right
up
there.
that I'm gonna do what they did. You know, like it like watching the Fergusons. It's a joy to watch Marcus, you know, and his family, and seeing the impact his dad has had on him, and seeing him lead his family, and how easy is it for Marcus to lead a family of 7 when he grew up in a family of I think Donna was saying it was what, 11?
8 or 9 of them.
9 of them, but with
Yeah.
their parents, 11.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And you go, well, yeah, he's probably thinking about a lot of stuff his pops did to help them to serve where he is now. And I'm like, that makes sense. But for us who didn't have any blueprint, like I said, man, half of mine was part TV.
Yep.
And, you know, looking at my grandfather was my grandfather, though. He was 100% my grandfather. It was my grandmother's husband. It wasn't my dad.
Yeah.
So I saw a man take care of stuff and take care of all the, you know, the financial needs of a home. And I thought that was dope, and took care of his wife even after death through the benefits of his labor. Right. So I thought that was dope. And I saw things like that. And he was a bit of a handyman, too. So I had that example in the home. But again, that was my grandfather. But dad is giving you your identity.
But it was so normal for us that we didn't know wasn't normal.
Bookie, I didn't know. You know what age I knew? 28, it started to click.
Yo.
I was married at 26. Then I think, we started having, I think Elise came around 2, 3, right when we had Elise. When I became a father, then it was like, oh snap, I don't know nothing about this. But you was about to say something, James.
Nah, I'm just listening. I'm tripping because I'm loving the idea of you like unpacking this stuff with somebody who has like a trained eye on how this stuff impacts us. Because I feel like a lot of the stuff that we would have been able to see earlier, it just took a trained eye. Like that's why I love the whole therapy journey or whatever. I haven't jumped on it myself, but the whole idea of like, hey, let's go listen to somebody. Let's go talk to somebody who can listen to us and point out a couple things like, hey, have you ever considered how this impacted you? Have you ever considered that? Because I used to sit around and hear people talk about how much you got to deny yourself and deny yourself and deny yourself, and I'm like, okay, I'm up for denying myself.
Absolutely.
But this sounds like you want me to ignore my needs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't get that. And then when you run across certain scriptures, like in Ephesians, a scripture that says nobody's ever hated themselves. That's the Bible telling you this is obviously true. We love ourselves.
Here was a cold one for me, though.
But it wasn't saying it in a negative way.
It was
feel
like if somebody who hates their wife.
That's it. That one. Nobody ever hated themselves.
I'm just saying it's a pointing to how you hating yourself. And the thing is that in light of that, well, then if I start loving myself and understanding really what that is and valuing that, you don't think that's going to trickle down to the relationships? And then now the person that I'm sitting across from now starts to feel valued too. Don't you see it is.
It's inevitable, I would say. It's the only thing that would happen to a home.
It is.
It's the only thing that would happen.
Listen, it is. I'm bearing witness of it. I know it's the truth, and they're connected.
Right.
And I'm going, oh, Jerrold, duh. You know, of course, this is going to affect the one that you're connected to. If you are over here tripping and you're over here unhappy for whatever reason, daddy, mama not there, whatever have led you to being unhappy, being married to somebody and that connection. It's like you're gonna poison the pipeline, if you will, if you were like, and that's essentially what happened. And so the reverse is what? Oh man, this dude started loving himself. He started caring. He's more open to, conversation, communication is better. And so what do you think gonna happen? But what we do, Buki, is we didn't recognize that we had any issues, and we was just like, ain't no big deal. We just going on with life or whatever. And the reality is, and you always hear people say, if you don't deal with it or really like deal with it in a healthy manner, it just piles up. And one day you're going to have to deal with it. And that's going to look, all kind of ways. And I think people going into deep depressions are just going into hard, substance abuse and just, people just wilding out. I think even people who just shoot up malls for no reason. I'm telling you, there was a time they were being pushed in that direction, and it was, oh my God. I hate to use this as an example, but I just seen this movie. I think it's called The Office. It's an old 90s movie. And,
oh, yeah.
And they keep moving the boy with the glasses. They keep moving his desk.
Yeah.
And he tell him, he kept telling him towards the end, they kept pushing, he's like, I burned this whole place down. He would just say it real quick. And they just kept moving him. He kept moving. They stopped paying the boy, just flat out, just stopped paying him. He still asking for his check. And then they moved him to the basement. Yeah. And he told him, don't move him no more. And they took that stapler too.
The stapler
was it. And the boy ended up burning it all down. And it's just like, that happens just, I think, over time from just, trauma, unresolved, hurts or whatever, not being addressed. Mm-hmm. And it's only so much that the human brain can take, I feel. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's almost like when we all know somebody that has dealt with a cancer before. Like, you don't have to acknowledge cancer. It's gonna do what it does.
Exactly.
You could ignore it if you want to, but it's gonna take its toll on you. It's just gonna keep eating away at all the things that would make you healthy. So it's like, I feel like a lot of the toxic belief systems I got them from toxic environments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
got them from toxic environments, and so. Yeah. I had nothing else to balance them or bounce them off of, so I just thought this how life was. Like, okay, I see how the Cosbys get down. I see how they get down at Hillman, but that's TV. In my real life, none of us have a solid home. Yeah. The people that I look up to all smoke, drink, get drunk. So these are all my heroes. They all, what I'm saying? And all of my uncles and aunts is all like AA. Like, I grew up in the back of AA meetings.
Yeah.
Which is like, these aunt and uncles, they dope. They all overcomers, you know what I mean? They all dope. But I mean, back then, I'm looking like, this is a crazy place. All that to say, I had nothing else to bring to the table but like a bunch of toxic ideas because I needed some other voices in my life saying, no, that's not the only thing going on. Yeah. And when I got to them, everything changed.
So for me, my uncles lived in the crib with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I seen uncle relationships.
Yeah.
So when I got grown, I knew how to be an uncle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've seen boyfriend and girlfriend relationships.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when I got married, I treated my wife like a girlfriend instead of a wife.
I got you.
Because that part was absent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we imitate what we see growing up. And so we don't realize it until we get older. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even like the relationship between a father and a child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing to me how then you can look at God and say, like, how could he take us and make us what we are today as husbands and fathers?
That is dope. That is true.
Absolutely.
Because we had no guidance, no blueprint.
No blueprint.
Whatever.
We were shown the other way. Mm-hmm. We were shown how to womanize and scam and do all the other shady stuff. We were shown that.
But that was our culture.
Yeah, that was the culture we was raised in. So we not only were we not shown the right way, we were shown the scandalous way to go. I got a lot of scandalous. Like I had one dude kind of like mentoring me on how to get girls. He was like, "This is what you got to say. This is what you got to do." He would like do me like a coach. He would be like, "Go talk to her." I'm like, "Dude, she looked like 25. I'm 17 at the time." He like, "Man, get out there and go. You can pull her. I promise you can get her." I mean, this girl looks like at least 22, 24. He's like, "Go talk to her, bro. You know what to do." And I scurried my little butt on out there, just like my coach.
Yeah.
Went out there, sure enough, got the number. And he was like, "I told you, man. You say the right thing, you get anything you want from these girls." And he telling me how to get money from them, how to live off of them, and all this kind of stuff. So this is what I'm coming up with. So I'm thinking like, this what relationships are gonna be forever. You come up now, I meet a girl that's a quality, mature adult. She's like, what is this? Because all I have is toxic like ideas and stuff. But I'm glad you're on that journey, man, because I think I saw some book I'm reading, and the guy says you're a prisoner of your worldview. You can't escape it. Whatever you believe about the world, that's how you're gonna function. You cannot escape your perspective. There's no way. None of us.
I want to mention this too.
It was dope to hear that.
As you just said that reminded me, because I found this book in a closet when I was in New Zealand, and I've been reading this book, and it's kind of dope. But it's called The Motivation Manifesto by Brendan Burchard. Man, this book, it's a good book for, I would say, like a entrepreneur who just wants to get motivated and get back into.
What's the name of it again?
Why you laugh at that?
What's the name again, man?
The Motivation Manifesto, bro.
Okay, I thought you was manifesting stuff over there. You started talking about some positive vibes.
See, you get around Christians and you like try to motivate them. They like, oh, you try to do some voodoo.
Don't do that manifesting.
We don't do that. We don't do that magic over here.
We don't do that.
And it sounded like it was some old book. It looked like it. That's what caught my eye too. The way that the book was designed. But no, it was, I think it came out like 2014 or whatever. And it was actually my cousin's, his wife's book. And she was like, yeah, I was just, reading it or whatever. And I'm like, yo, it's kind of dope. And I don't know, but I think keeping a dope book in front of you, but you also mentioned something a minute ago and I want to jump on because you was talking about how you were getting mentored and treating women. And then I thought about what you were talking about earlier, some of this holy cougar feedback you've been getting.
You know what? Can I make it quick?
Please. Before we jump into that,
before we jump into that,
James, just get your brain working. Okay.
You were talking about a book, and we were going about talking about our upbringing, this and that.
Yeah.
The book that changed, the book that enlightened me.
Which one?
And I always talk about it. Eric Mason's Manhood Restored.
Ooh. That's a dope one.
That book right there,
yeah,
man, it just like it changed me. That was therapy for me.
Yeah.
In that book, for real. And it just showed everything that I knew but didn't know where the source of it came from.
Yeah.
And he just showed it. So anybody out there that's listening that may have gone through the same situation we have, check out Manhood Restored, Eric Mason.
Our men's group went through that book. That was dope.
That's dope.
So yes, that is a very, 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 very. But James,
back to the Holy Cougars.
You were getting holy cougar feedback, some surprising feedback, because I'm gonna tell you, when you guys first was saying it, I was like, oh man, we finna get it, bruh. And then there were some widows that came to mind. I mean, being honest, and this was like, man, I don't know how they gonna feel about this. It's kind of weird, you know what I mean? Especially, I mean, what do we have to do? I mean, why are we speaking on this? Why all of a sudden we're experts on it? Like, why would we even be right? But to my surprise, James, want to enlighten us and share some of the stuff that you shared with me?
First of all, the reason why we get to speak on this kind of stuff is because we do life with people. We do real life with real people. We be around all kinds of people. I'm looking at y'all too, and I know y'all circle. Y'all circle is vast and is it's really interesting how many different types of people we be running with.
That's true.
And how we really do life with them. Like, they know us. We at each other's houses, all that type of stuff. Anyway, yeah, a couple people listening to the show, fans of the show, they was like, hey, man, I want to let you know you on to something with this conversation. This how the Holy Cougars came at me. They're like, you on to something because I'm fighting off some of these youngsters right now because they can tell.
Let me holler. That's what they dealing with. Let me holler.
Yes, man. So I knew that there was a different shift in the dating scene once you get past, let's call it like 30. Because it's usually a kid involved. It's usually a baby mama, baby daddy involved in today's day and age. So there's a shift there. Before
around that age.
Yeah,
that's fair.
17 to 30 it's all kinds of stuff going on. But right around 30 is a different stage of life. And, just the idea that, when you come across a lady who's had some time to work on herself and she's had some time to develop, sometimes that can be super attractive, man. But even to a young cat that's kind of like I'm trying to really do this right. And I see somebody moving kind of the way that I would, man, that look like wife material over there. And then you got to come over there and try to talk to him, and you find out like, oh, snap, she a little bit past me.
Yeah.
And they was giving me good feedback like, hey, you right. I'm fighting them off. They noticing what it is. So I thought that was funny, man. I was cracking up.
People were listening, bro. They were. I got hit up on TikTok off my reel.
What they say?
And hey, and it was my sister-in-law that hit me, bro.
Oh,
she was like,
that sister.
She was like, Wookie, you are crazy. He's like, y'all crazy. Then she says, but I'm not a widow. But I do fall in that that cougar.
See?
Bracket. I was like, yeah.
That's right.
We are telling the truth.
We out here just trying to encourage the brothers.
Hey, we try to encourage them.
Hey, have you ever thought, and I'm pretty sure there was some brothers who hadn't thought. Because I'm finding out there was a lot of brothers. I'm going to send y'all a text too, hopefully tonight. There's people listening, bruh. Mm-hmm. And I'm not knowing that's listening. And then they'll hear something that hits them. And it's, but this cougar one, it wasn't even about a cougar. It was about something else. But I'm just saying this cougar one, I was like, I don't know how this is going to land. Lord help us, because we showed it and playing none of that. We just was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Let's talk.
I just want my people to enjoy each other, man. Everybody out here enjoying their singleness, that's dope to me. But some of these folks ain't trying to be single, and they need to be honest about it. You're not trying to be single, fam. You need to get up and say something to old girl. You don't know what she might
and I
be
think that
interested
was
in. Say something.
Age ain't nothing but a number.
Now, see, Boogie, now you gonna mess it up. Too much. It'd be too much stuff going on in the church circle, too many stories coming out for you to be saying stuff like that, bro. Trust me. Hey, too many hot stories.
Hey, you get one of these 30-year-old dudes hollering at one of these 50-year-old women.
Hey, man.
The 50 is the new 40, bro.
Change your life.
Hey. The boy said, change your life. 50 the new 30.
She'll change your life.
That boy said they be wanting to mold them. That's what he said that on the last show. I was hollering when I heard that back. He said, they want to mold them.
I think I could mold them.
Woo. Pick them up like clay and put them on a wheel. The potter hands, bro. You can teach you exactly what you need to be. Yeah.
Why did that not go the way I thought it's gonna go? My man got a gift of using scriptures the wrong way, bro. He got a gift.
All interpretation, baby.
He got it.
Multiple meters for different situations. Look.
So James, you think that was a good response?
Well, some people was with it, but it's a couple people that was not with it.
Okay, well, I'd love to hear that as well. I'm glad. That's a surprise. I didn't know that. But what did you get?
Run that clip.
That one right there?
Number 3, yeah.
Women are not Bosses, I'm sick of the narrative that black women are strong, independent.
I didn't say strong, independent. I said
we're not.
boss.
A man does not want a woman who says she's a boss.
Insecure men don't want a boss.
No man. They
Finish it,
respect
babe.
you as your singer, and they're
That's
pandering
fine.
because of your talent. But are they taking you home and saying that's my wife?
Somehow.
There's a difference.
Somehow. That's a
Between your art
understanding.
and being a wife, because
I
the
hear
Bible, you talked about being a Christian,
Yeah.
but it says the older women need to teach the younger women, and younger women need to be submissive. But you know how many young women are not submissive to what men say? But you say you're a Christian woman.
Okay.
You can't be a Christian woman and buck against what men are saying. That is anti-biblical, it's anti-God, it's anti-Christ, and it makes you the great Babylon.
I'm going to be honest
But
with
don't
you.
claim Christianity if
Okay.
you're not willing to submit to when men are telling you.
I can
A lot of
claim
women are Christian
Christianity.
feminists. You claim Christianity when it works in your favor,
Not
but you
necessarily.
put down men and say, you're rebellious. You are anti-Christ and you are the Jezebel.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
Shots fired. So yeah, so she was saying like, okay, so you got all this stuff together, you got your portfolio, you got your businesses running, you thriving, you got your, you got your money stashed away, you doing it big, you're a boss woman. And she tried to say, don't nobody want no boss woman like that. Especially no black Christian man don't want nobody thinking they some boss.
Yeah, but see,
So that was the
Here's
other
the
side.
thing.
That's the other side of it.
like the song we played in the last little episode, that was Lil Boosie and them. And it kind of, when I listened to the lyrics and I listened back, because I had forgot about the song, and it says, I mean, we always hit a hook and wipe me down, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But when you listen to the lyrics, it's promoting that. It's describing that girl right there.
She got her own stuff. She got her own house.
Boss,
pay her own
right?
bills.
So the culture will promote that in a sense because somebody like Boosie would want a girl like that. And here's why. He makes money.
Right.
So, but he doesn't want commitment. He's not looking for a wife. That's not what
He might be looking for an equal, maybe not Boosie, but the Boosie type, a guy that's well-to-do. He may not want a gold digger. He wants an equal. So he feeling like if she got 6 figures and I got 7 figures, we can work.
Exactly.
Something like that.
So that's all he's saying, right?
I'm
So
high
that's-
6 figures. She low 6 figures.
I'm all about clarity.
She not just out for a meal ticket. I think that's kind of
That's all he's saying. But what he's not saying is, I'm looking for a wife, and you know why? Because it's not slow in R&B. Because if it was slow, with them real hitting tick tick ticks and hi hats and slow and cymbals, then he's talking about let's start a family.
Right. Light skin vibes.
All right.
He needs
Exactly.
That's
right.
light skin vibes.
That's not what that beat and that music is saying.
Nah.
That's saying good time. And it's a good time, right?
But it's something to talk
But
about.
all I'm saying
ain't it?
is just like that clip you played, all that boss woman, whatever, that stuff, that's not a category really that guys that I think are looking for a wife is really looking for.
So hear me out.
Because some cats is looking for the homemaker, right? Go
Here's
ahead.
the problem. Here's the problem. If you go that way of a boss woman and you got somebody who's financially stable, successful in their career, whatever their career is, they balling, they doing, they at the top of their field, whatever it may be, it sometimes comes with a different level of like boss level energy. Like, I'm out here, son. Like, you can't be no punk. I don't want no man that's not really gonna lead. Like, you may not.
I got that.
You may not have made it as far in your career as the man, but some women who have been successful, because it seems like, y'all tell me if I'm wrong, it seems like the black woman is given more opportunity than the black man. And it seems like the black woman takes advantage of those opportunities more often than the average black man seems to have. We seem to be a little bit behind statistically in career advancement, corporate executive placement, stuff like that. Because
that's facts.
Yeah, I think maybe because some of these, so many of these jobs are sitting behind desks, talking and typing. That seems like it's a little more geared towards like feminine energy than guys are typically more interested in working with their hands on average. Just
He
on
said
average.
guys don't want to type, and he's like women type. That's what some people are hearing that.
I'm saying it.
Women
I'm
type,
saying it.
Women type faster, and they concentrate more on typewriters.
I can see the average woman being more satisfied with a desk job than the average guy is what I'm trying to say. So that the corporate world is built for desk jobs. Soft hand talking type desk
So
jobs.
you gonna tell me that
I think
men would rather work and dig ditches outside than sit in the corner office with the AC
No, I don't.
and some nice cufflinks.
No.
Tell him
but
don't
they-
look
but
across the table to me because I'm in the office, bro.
I know, but there's something to. Yeah, y'all right.
I don't know what you're talking about. And the AC blowing, like, you can get up and get you a cup of coffee anytime you want to. You talking about most brothers don't want that. They want to be what? Outside.
Listen, y'all some
Picking
spa,
cotton.
y'all some spa boys already. Y'all already some spa boys.
I'm a newly spa boy.
You're a
Now,
spa boy.
You know, I've been that.
You've been on that for a while. But I think there's something to this corporate world being more adaptable to the average black woman. And
I hear you.
Black women are
That's
killing it.
fair.
Black women are
I'm
killing
just-
it.
I'm just
There's-
clowning.
It's nothing wrong with them taking the advantages that are being offered. I think that's dope. It's probably the only thing propping up our
Yeah.
culture at this point for a while. We in trouble if we don't have that happening. So I'm loving that. I'm also noticing that if a guy comes up working with his hands as a young boy, he's probably not dreaming about sitting at a desk typing for the rest of his career. That's what I'm talking about. Not trying to, overgeneralize. I'm saying,
But it's just
I didn't grow up thinking I was going to sit at a desk and type.
But if you
I never thought of that.
But think about it. But if you are something like, give you an example, like if you're something like a lawyer, you might do a bit of that as well. That's what I'm saying. You're still being like sitting down and still having to be at a computer for not like all day, but still be working in an office environment.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what it is. And then maybe, no, a lot of people didn't dream of that. But I'm just saying it's so many roads that lead to an office environment. I'm just saying. So some
I'm
people,
with you.
some people,
I'm in the office
people
environment.
do.
I got the softest hands in this room right now.
and I'm like in 2024, I'm like, it's the office environment or what?
which is a problem.
It's an office
That's a
environment
problem.
or retail
I think that might-
or restaurant or outside.
Or CEO. We got a lot of guys that CEOs. A lot
You're
of
gonna
guys
be in
that
the office,
creatives.
though, in a lot.
So
Well,
it's not the idea
really,
that you're
but-
in the office. It's the idea that you're not doing something stimulating as much as you would want. So I think guys are stimulated by different things than women on average as far as careers. And I think there's something to it. I think this goes back to that black jobs conversation that we haven't talked about yet. It's been a lot of talk, like a lot of spicy talk about what Trump was saying about black jobs and how he was saying that people are coming across taking black jobs. For a long time, you know who used to say that?
What?
Black leaders used to say that they are giving our jobs away to people coming from wherever. And for a long time, it was a rally cry of like, yeah, let's get back to what our young black men are probably more inclined to do, which is like 6-figure trade jobs.
Trade jobs.
Not lowly, demeaning trash man. We ain't talking about like cleaning toilets. We talking about
So
work.
now I can't be a trash man. I can't clean toilets. James, you be messing up, man. It's
Hey,
a
I'm
group
just-
of people.
Hey, they making.
I'm just
hey,
talking.
They making.
They making
bank.
money too, man.
telling
So
you.
stop. But anyway,
I'm not shading those jobs. I'm saying that a lot of guys would probably thrive in those areas if they were pushed harder in schools. If they were pushed harder in schools, if we were introduced to some of these trades
this is what you're
earlier
saying.
on.
The industrial arts being demolished in the school system has taken away job opportunities for the urban man.
It's shit.
So
But,
and so a lot of women have gone into college and gotten degrees and have entered like certain fields, teaching and different corporate jobs.
Yep.
Because in the building the position I've just recently taken,
yeah.
it's 12 units in my office, and all 12 supervisors are women.
That's what I'm talking
And
about.
I'm
Like,
like-
part of that is like naturally progressing from sitting in a classroom for 6 hours when I'm 6 years old to 16 years old.
Let's get Buki in trouble real quick. So how do you
Hey,
feel
let's-
about that?
let's go
Buki?
all the way.
How about that?
And you know what? When I was younger, when I did talk to my pops and stuff, my pops told me this a long time ago. I never worked for a woman.
Ooh.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
There
he
goes
told
our
me that.
toxic childhood.
Yeah, I
Keep
feel
going.
you. I feel you.
Keep going.
But I understood what he was saying though. Now that I'm there, I understand what he's saying because there's a different energy that women bring as
I hear you.
supervisors and stuff, especially when she's over a man. So she's a lot of times you get these toxic women that's like, yeah, I'm gonna show my authority over, you know what I'm saying? That kind of deal.
Man.
And a lot of people just can't handle that. You know? I've been lucky enough not to.
Have to deal with that.
Yeah, have to deal with that.
Cool.
But I they feel my alpha male energy too when I walk in there. So things change when I walk into the in the office. And so, but I understand what you're saying, and women are winning, bro. And I think it's a difference when you say boss.
Be careful there.
We're not about to be careful. This is not a reason for us to be careful.
Women are winning, bro. But that boss woman. It's I don't think that's a real Christian woman mentality though. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
Because you have women,
So you're saying
yeah, go Jay, go do it.
The diligent woman, what's the Proverbs?
No, I'm saying the way she was coming at it.
31 woman, are you saying that she is not shrewd? And you're saying that she is of the devil, Buki?
No, I'm saying that Proverbs 31 woman when she said I said and she make bread because people skip that too when she said that Proverbs 31 she make money too. You know
she was winning.
She was winning.
Did she have servants helping her?
Yes.
Sounds like a boss to me.
No, I'm saying
she's a boss.
But the boss mentality was different.
Oh, what's okay?
So the boss mentality is different. Like I said, I know women that are entrepreneurs, medical field, that's in the education field, all that. But they still know their place as a woman within the body of Christ. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They don't want to dominate a man.
Please, you have to be
But they
clear.
still need an alpha male.
What do you mean their place? There's a lot of people that are listening. They're like, look, guys.
Oh, it's a structure. It's a structure to this.
I like
thing.
you guys, but what do you mean a place? What do you mean
there is a
place?
structure there. Whether they want to believe it or not, the Bible clearly gives us a structure.
So
the man is
that?
the head of the household.
So
regardless of the income.
So what does that mean? James, what does that mean? He is the head of the household.
Well, I've been fortunate enough to have my wife make more money than me for a while, so I don't mind talking about this. I don't mind talking about this. It doesn't bother me that my wife helped put money down for our first house that we bought. All that type of stuff don't bother me. And the reason why is because she was always trying to please God. So she was always trying to make sure I knew I was the head of the household. Yeah. So yeah, she can have. Here. She always wanted to make.
Same here.
She always wanted me to know that I was the head of the house, whether I had.
But that's not the boss mentality that video's talking about.
Why? Why is it not? Because
it's not. Because she said, "I'm the boss. I need you to." This and that, like she's talking
again, remember
with
Boosie,
mad authority, bro.
Well, why can't two
is
things
celebrating
be true,
that she
man?
has her own car.
She's got her own stuff. Yeah. Why can't two things be true? Why can't this person
celebration that she has her own?
I think we getting the definitions wrong.
Let's talk about
it because if you're saying a boss woman is that cougar that we were talking about, that's fine. But the boss woman that they're talking about is the alpha female who says that
you're right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't on my level. You know what I'm saying? And regardless if we're married, I'm still running this. You know what I'm saying?
And that happens. That absolutely happens.
Toxic.
It is.
And it's toxic.
It is.
And what I'm saying, Buki, is I don't think that a dude that's looking for a wife is looking for that.
That's what I agree.
So the one that you're talking about,
that.
they're not looking for that.
They're not looking for
that.
that.
But the dudes that's out there is playing, he looking for that. You know why? Because she got her own car. That means she could take herself home. She got her own crib. That means she ain't trying to stay with me in my nice little crib. She got her own situation. That's what I'm saying. So that is a celebration of something else.
Yeah, this woman right here that was on that video, she's a feminist movement leader type woman. That's what that is.
What's the difference? Because
it's a difference. Because
I'm with you. But what is it?
The feminist movement? It almost destroyed the black family.
What you mean?
Ooh.
Like back in the 60s because if you do your history, the feminist movement, it wasn't a black thing. You know what I'm saying? It injected itself into our culture. You know what I'm saying? And then let me tell you what came from there. I don't need a man.
Wait, hold on.
That's where that came from.
That's way different than wanting your own money.
No, but this is where the feminists, that came in. I don't need a man. That's where we get that from. That's where we get that from.
Let's go back. Let's
Proverbs 31 lady ain't never said that. That scripture ain't in there.
This is how I got it cleared to me in this country, in America, that the feminist movement really started with the white woman having a problem with her man.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Say that again.
That's where it started.
Say that again.
The white woman having a problem with her man because they didn't have no right to vote either. So the white man is telling her, you ain't even worthy of a vote. So in pursuit of getting women to kind of, I don't know, unite for this cause, it did have to bleed over in our culture at a certain time and infiltrate our and need our help to kind of iron out a problem that you got going on with your man, essentially, if you want to see it that way. And it was explained to me that way because that's what it was birthed because I'm African-American, black, whatever you want to call it, and you know, born here in America. And there was a time my people didn't have no rights. So, you know, a woman having the right to vote, well, that came later on. And but first things first, it was like, can I be considered a person first? And then can I get a vote? But I'm just saying, in this country, that the whole feminist movement was something that didn't even have nothing to do with people that look like me.
So listen, this part of what I was saying
historically.
Part of what I'm saying. I'm with y'all. I love this. This is great. Let's dive even further into it. Part of what the problem is that there are a lot of inroads for ladies to excel in the way that the economy is set up. And one of the ways it's built to excel is that the industrial arts are they're not encouraged as much. Maybe they'll have a resurrection, renaissance, or whatever, but they're not encouraged as much. So we're all starting to think about success as boardrooms and desks, and a lot of guys may not be wired for that.
Not.
A lot of guys
are wired for electricians and
which are still quality jobs, which were always talked about as quality jobs for a long time.
They still are.
No, they were not. No, they were
high school. They've taken.
No. I'm not saying they were talked about. I'm saying they're still valuable jobs today.
Absolutely, I feel you. But they're not celebrated as much. They're not pushed on us. Like when I was in high school, I think I was the last generation.
You were told to go to college.
And do what?
Go to college.
Y'all ready?
Doctor, lawyer, engineer.
But y'all ready? Okay.
Which is dope.
When is the last pop star or like TV commercial or internet in this day and age star been a plumber or electrician?
Yeah, we supposed to know that's fantasy, man. We supposed to know that's fantasy. I'm not supposed to be taking cues about life from the latest rapper and basketball player.
No,
that's entertainment.
I'm saying, but when was the last time? Remember we had remember that show, The Rock?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When is the last time a regular person been celebrated like that? That was a fictional character. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he had a hard life, man. I didn't walk away feeling like I wanted to be The Rock, bro. I didn't want to be James Evans. I didn't walk away feeling like these things were great, bro. They had a hard life. James couldn't make rent sometimes.
I still enjoy James, and that was just because
I did not want to be James Evans.
I didn't want to be James Evans, but
Heck no.
But there was like some people who had money and stuff around them. You got a slice of project life with them.
Yeah, Lenny slinging all the stuff. Like
like the politician, the councilman, and some of the business owners and people around them.
All right.
And Bookman wasn't slumming. You know, he had a job. He was a tradesman.
Nobody wanted to be Booger Bookman when we was kids, man.
You
If
didn't want to
anything,
be nobody.
I wanted to be George Jefferson. If anybody,
You wanted to be George Jefferson. You wanted to be Cliff
George
Huxtable.
Jefferson had
George
a driver.
Jefferson talked crazy to Al.
Loved it.
Oh my! What was my man name? Archie Bunker. Man, George Jefferson talked crazy to Archie Bunker. I loved that.
Man,
he owned his own businesses. He had his own stuff. He's living in the top, doing it real big. That's who I wanted to be, if anybody.
Uncle Phil, the lawyer.
Uncle Phil.
And even if you wanted to get a regular 9 to 5, it was Carl Winslow, who was a police officer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Carl was dope.
Those were the job. Nobody like. It was dude from Home Improvement was like the only kind of real tradesman that got kind of celebrated.
Yeah, and I think if he
was white.
Yeah, if you look at history, I think something happened, especially in LA. Something happened where all the industrial jobs went away. I don't know why. Maybe it was like technology or something shifted everything where there were a lot of jobs that guys could get and make a living and buy a house and take care of a family. And then that stuff started to go away in the 80s. Like, of course, I think Reagan was in on that and Nixon. So, yeah, shout out to the GOP.
They started pushing college, though. That's what it was. They start
pushing desk
knowledge.
jobs, which has a lot of feminine traits to it, and not in a negative way.
Why does James think working at a desk is so
I've been
feminine?
at a desk for 30 years. I've been at a desk for 30 years. I know what I'm talking about.
I remember. I feel you. I remember when people would be like, "Man, a woman's world is in the kitchen," and then we'd be like, "Oh, hold up, that's changing. They could be at other places now." They'd be like, "Nah, they places in the kitchen." They'd be like, "Oh man, that's like."
I'm not letting you off the hook with
But
these
he's
black.
like-
We having this black jobs conversation. You're not getting out of here without it.
He like, man,
We
a
having
woman's
this
place is
conversation.
in this office. That's they thriving in here. This is built for them. This ain't for men.
It's two people that's gonna hear what you hear, fam. That's not what I'm saying. It's two people that's gonna hear what you hear.
I don't
That's
know.
fine.
Sound
Shout
like
out to them too. For the rest of us, why you try to get me in trouble with them two people? For the rest of us, there is a opportunity that's being missed.
Yeah.
By a lot of young guys. It doesn't have to be black guys, but young guys being told hit that desk job. Everybody ain't wired for that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
Nah,
studies
it's a lot
that
of
say the
people.
reason
Nah, I
why
feel that.
women thrive in corporate areas is because there's a little bit of a wiring that some people can see feels like it leans a little more towards a lady having the traits to make that work. You don't remember all the girls having better grades than most of us? Like the sitting
That
at
was
the
you,
desk.
James. You just wasn't that bright, brother. You just got to face that, and the women was crushing you. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, you right. We all were. They all. But if you want to get that deep, it's just women develop before we do too. They
Develop
mature.
what?
Their brain, their frontal cortex develops before ours do. That makes them very sharper. So that thing that you're sensing, like, man, they're a little ahead, is because they develop like that when it comes to us. That don't kick in until a little bit later to us. I don't know why. It's just the science. So I get what you're saying.
I hear you. I'm not disagreeing with none of that.
But you know what I've noticed
I think it's
that-
something to these industrial jobs not being pushed for the last 40 years.
And then we can go back to our first conversation of not having daddies in the home too, because a lot of them jobs were pushed down. Like, oh, my father is this.
You absolutely right.
I'm following into that footstep.
Thank you.
Yep.
My dad made a good living, such and such, right?
We were being raised by dope dealers, and you know what I'm saying.
And we tried to sell dope.
Right.
That's just how
tried to
this
ball
is. We
out.
tried to ball out. That's just what we saw. Unfortunately,
We wanted to go. We wanted the Turkish links and the gold ropes with the with the caddy and on white walls, and
It was a movie. It was a movie like that had this thing going on where one dude, he was like a chef. He had culinary. He was a great chef, and he wanted to like open a restaurant or a truck or something.
Yeah.
And he had this girl that he was into, and she was a top notch CEO executive of some big corporation.
Yeah.
And it was a struggle to figure out like, can I get with this dude? And the dude was struggling like, can I even approach this girl because I'm kind of out her league. I don't have this 3-piece suit like the dude coming out of the Benz with the nice suit, and he's a CEO too, and they match that boss energy. But he is skilled at making money, but not in a corporate office setting. So he had the insecurities of that, and she had the insecurities of what everybody else gonna think. And it was you can see it happening. I'm talking about two black professionals not sure if they're compatible because one is a lady in the boardroom and one is a guy who works with his hands and his head. And it was like, you can see that that tension is real in our culture, which is part of why some guys don't think they can approach these well-to-do bosses who don't have that toxic boss stuff going on, but you can't tell because they pulled up in a Lexus or they got their own house or they dressed real dope, especially if you see them at church.
Yeah.
They dressed up in that business suit. They can wear that same business suit they wore on Wednesday. They got 10 more of them joints in the closet. They pulling up to the church looking fly too. So you like, she might be out my league because I'm just a construction worker or whatever. Construction worker still making 6 figures, but he don't necessarily have the same type of common ground as the CEO dude. And I think it's a bigger thing that we want to admit because I think our young people are a lot of them are not sure what they want to do. But they know for a fact they don't want to sit at a desk. You're starting to see it. They starting to become aware. Like, I don't want to just sit at a desk. A lot of the guys are starting to. So they want to lead. They want to create. Like I'm blessed. I get to create at my desk. So it don't feel like a desk job because I'm actually allowed to create. I do instructional design. I get to build stuff. So it feel like I'm still playing with Legos. You know what I mean? Like I'm building. Yeah. I'm building something. Now I'm doing it on a computer. But I'm building. My brain is being stimulated by my ability to actually build. And I think a lot of guys would admit that they need that. They need to be creating something, not just taking orders down the chain of command. Whereas a lady might be wired a little differently, and the chain of command may not bother them as much. They might be hardwired. And nobody wants to deal with a bad boss or a bad teammate. I don't mean that. I just mean like just the idea of just sitting at a desk taking orders. They still might be creating or something just like me, but it's something to this that I think we don't want to admit because it's like, oh, you're not being politically correct. Like, bro, I just want to tell the truth right now. The industrial arts might be the reason why some of us as young men didn't thrive. Because
also
nobody told us, hey, that's a 6-figure job too.
But simply,
electrician is a 6-figure job too.
It could be that what Buki, I guess, wants to talk about, but it also could be because they're just losers with bad energy.
The guys
and low vibrational aura.
Oh my gosh, man! This came out your manifest book. Don't bring this stuff back from New Zealand talking to us about low vibrational because you want to have a motivational manifestation.
This is Buki's topic.
All right,
Buki wants to cut off all losers with bad energy and low vibrational aura.
Nah, let's get this right, people.
What is this?
Let's get this right, people. So this was a Instagram post that I came by and I shared with the fellas. So this pastor says that he used Proverbs, Proverbs 13:20, I believe it was, about
you want me to run this too anytime? You want me to run this?
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think you do.
It. Did you?
I think this is the guy. If he's about to, he's about to come.
Your pastor won't tell you. In this season, you need to cut off people. The Bible spoke of it in the book of Proverbs chapter 13 verse 20, that he that walks in the company of wise men in turn shall also become wise. And the Bible said he that walks in the company of fools shall be destroyed, meaning the result of walking in a company of fools is death. Death to your finances, death to success, death to any good thing that existed in your life. In this season, you ought to cut off people that do not align with your destiny in Christ. Cut off people that do not align with the will of God for your life in this present last day age. It's time to cut off people. It's not every single individual that needs to know what is going on in your life. Not every single individual that needs to know the consistent day-to-day goals that you have. It's not every single individual. Remember that the devil cannot attack what he does not know of. So in this season, cut off people.
Man, the boy said, in this season, cut off people.
But cut them off.
But what's interesting is at the beginning, what kind of car is this?
I don't know. It had them butterfly doors, whatever they had.
It's the butterfly doors.
Butterfly doors, whatever it was.
Open, and the boy just walks up and just like, all right, let me close the door. Let you know that I'm doing well.
And this Lambo, was it Lambo or something?
I'm doing well.
Maybe.
Or Lambo. And then I want to tell you, look, it's time to cut off people right now. And I don't know. Is it good to cut off toxic folk that's hurting you? Obviously, right? The obvious answer, like, yes. But in the sense that he's saying, it's like, because you just need to be, I don't know, you'll do financially better. You'll do, much better cutting these people off. I think there's room for that, but it's something about it that's just, I don't know.
His energy and terminology is bad. So we all know that, like, it's just, the good book tells us, you know what I'm saying, be under wise counsel. Yeah. We're not gonna take information from somebody with a 400 credit score that didn't file bankruptcy 12 times and try to get, you know what I'm saying, financial planning and information from this person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we always want to seek godly counsel from godly men. But we're not just supposed to cut off the whole world, bro. Like, come on. Whatever happened to doing life with people, bro?
That's what I'm saying. That's the part of it that felt bad, because you might be like indirectly telling people to stop talking to people that really need to be pouring into them. You over here So yeah, man, he did really come out to my cookie drive and buy no cookies. So man, you know what? I need to cut him off, man. I just need some more people who would just, I don't know. It just leaves the door open for
Bad.
too much of that. Especially, everybody's not as discerning as the next. And it's I don't know, man. It just seems weird when you.
He just gave bad vibes.
Just say it. What made it feel bad? Just because I know
it's rooted in prosperity and the prosperity gospel.
Thank you. Why did all three of us pick that up?
Because
it's not just a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just because you are using a Lamborghini. That's how you intro the video.
Right.
This is what you're doing. You're communicating to me that, hey man, I am successful and I am somebody to listen to. Because if you close a door like this, you are winning.
All my friends got Lambos.
So let's start.
Which doesn't tell me anything about your ability to be spiritual.
Right.
You haven't gained any ground when you close your Lamborghini door. And if you think you have, you already suspect. So, but finish talking. Because you thought that Lamborghini door made me want to listen to you more. That told me almost everything I needed to know about you.
Yeah. And
it just really did. That Lamborghini undercut everything you was about to tell me about Jesus. Because you're assuming your Lamborghini makes me want to listen to you talk about Jesus more.
All right, I'm gonna give you.
That's a red flag.
I'm gonna give a cheat code for the whole money thing, because I really searched and spent. I read books and spent so much time to try to figure out, money and how do you make money and where do you find real value in this stuff. And
well, you're not about to give us another Fillmore Slim quote, right?
No. It's not time for that, ladies and gentlemen. We are not talking about women. So let us not. So no. But one, so this helps people who get caught up with scammers like that and watching people floss, riches and all that. First of all, that's always a red flag when people are, flashing jewelry or cars and things of that nature to kind of sell them, and you don't know them, and they're kind of leading with that. That's usually a red flag. That's just neither here nor there. But also understanding, and this is in the American context, but understanding that real value and real money and success is usually in three areas, and it's only typically in some successful business like Apple, people owning land, some sort of land owners, and then people owning stocks in successful companies. These things historically have always generated money for people in America. When people are not talking any of these things, they're gambling, and it's just, it could happen. It could, it may crack or whatever, but
went bad today.
Yeah. And
went
numbers
bad today for crypto. Everybody, crypto looks terrible today, bro. Don't open it. Don't even look.
Shoot.
Yeah. But when, okay, now you guys are saying that, but really what you're telling me, and that's what I'm, trying to meet with my wife very soon about, is when it's very bad like this, the stocks are going to get cheap. This is the time to buy. This was the week to buy, right? I haven't really hardcore invested. I'm about to now.
Everything's on sale
because everything is on sale.
Everything's on sale,
and then it's just gonna go up. So because historically that's just what it does. That's just the nature of it, right? My point is, once you really know that, you don't. Somebody walks up to a Ferrari and closes the door, and he starts to look different. You be like, man, stop it. And I'm gonna tell you this: the wealthiest people I've ever known personally, me personally, you wouldn't know that they were at all. There's no way. And there's something about that. And then I even seen this post one time where all these entrepreneurs with all these businesses, they all was just sitting around like a little table at a mall, and everybody put their feet up on the table and bragged about how much they had paid for their shoes. And one of them pairs of shoes I owned too, so I laughed. So I already knew where this was going. And everybody was like, "My shoes like $15. Mine was $13, whatever." He said it's just balling, right? And they were trying to show like a part of it is being wise with your money. So why would I buy $300, pair of shoes. I could afford that. I really can. But it's cooler to me to just have these regular little comfortable cheap shoes that I like and not feel like the need to have to do that. Because one thing about it that's ugly about that part of balling out is how I know I'm making somebody else rich in that. You know what I mean?
What you mean?
If I own a business that's dope, it generates money. I can pass that down to, my family, and same thing with the land, same thing with the stocks. But them purses and them Louis belts and them glasses and stuff that you have, some of them can hold value. I hear you. But who's actually collecting that stuff to pass it down?
The markup is crazy. Let me tell you. The markup is crazy. I'm behind the curtain. The markup is crazy. That $400 purse cost about $30 to make.
But people who are really like wealthy and then have assets, I'm just saying a lot of that stuff is not included. It's the stuff that I'm telling you. It's the, of course, the liquid, but the business and the land that they own, and then whatever assets they own in the stocks. And what did Michael Jackson have that was of value? What do all celebrities and stuff have now that they tout around? They're gonna tell you the businesses that they own, the land, how many houses and stuff they own. That stuff don't change. And
Mike
the
had a
companies
bunch
they
of
own.
yeah.
Oh, Shaq, you got in early on Google. You got a hookup. It doesn't go outside of those things. So I'm just saying that's how you can detect that real wealth is going down. You have to get caught up by scammers who just slam a door on a nice car, and you just assume that I need to listen to whatever this person is
Because of
saying.
the nice car?
Just because of the nice
What
car.
did Big Melvin say? Baby boy. What did he say? Guns and butter, baby, guns and butter. It was such a deep meaning in that. It just went over a bunch of people's head. But
Well, help us for those of us that don't know how wisdom works.
It's all about what depreciates and what has value.
So what is making these dudes losers, Bookie, that you don't want to be around? That make them low vibrational. What is this that you come in contact with?
Man, I try to do life with everybody, bro.
Okay.
I try to do life with everybody. I consider these kind of folks that is like on the videos are the losers. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
Because they're putting out. I mean, when you just go through the comments, I like to go through the comments on videos like that.
Of course.
And it's just so sad that it's like thousands of people that's, hey man, oh good, yeah. Oh
Clapping
man, I needed
up.
this. No, you didn't need that, bro.
You didn't. You about to leave somebody like the three of us behind.
Yeah.
And even though we may not have looked like it at the very beginning, but we wanted to do better. We just didn't know anything about anything. And we didn't get like this is something like I talked to a guy who helps plant churches, and I was asking him like, how do I deal with some of these people that have like false doctrines? And I want to still be in their life, but it's just weird. Some of the stuff that they believe is just weird. And he said, this is what you got to consider, James. Is it weakness or wickedness? Is it weakness? Like they just don't know any better. They haven't been exposed to better truth. They haven't been taught well. Or is it wickedness? Do they just not care and they are rebellious and they're going to do their own thing? Is it because they had a bad start or is it because they have a bad heart?
Yeah.
And it was, what's his name? Thabiti Anyabwile, hero, one of my heroes.
Say that 3 times fast.
I
Go
know.
ahead. Anyway.
He got the Creed Collective where he helps fund little smaller churches get off the ground and kind of like upstart plant churches like that. Dope black theologian hero dude of mine. And Thabiti was saying like, you got to consider, is it weakness or wickedness? Do they really not know? And they just need to be exposed to some better truth and maybe have a different circle around them. And that's what some of us that have had that process happen to us. We got around different people. We got around different information and we ended up in a different space. You know that's what's true. Or we all grew into something, whether we went to college or whether we got into different circles. And like you tell me how you went over to the Nest and some of the guys that help, the owner of the Nest kind of help you see some things differently. You talk about getting into different circles with some of the people you talk through and just learning just being exposed to different things and be like, man, I gotta expand my view. What if those people were doing what he said? Like, get away from these losers. These dudes don't know nothing. Like, they don't have nothing to bring to the table. Yeah, I'm that dude at one point. Yeah. I don't have nothing to bring to the table at one point. But somebody comes along and says, hey, man, let me find out. Does he have a bad heart? Or did he just have a bad start?
So, Buki, how do you handle this now, knowing that you're dealing with a loser that you're doing life with? How are you handling these people? Because we want to be able to help you if need be, because this obviously was on your heart at some point.
Now, I'm just like, bruh, my thing, like I said before, my thing is just doing life with people, bro, because we were those people.
That's facts.
That needed that help, that needed that guidance.
I feel you.
Right? So you telling, like,
so we not coming at somebody like, nah, you a loser, get away from me or whatever. It's more so we see ourselves in these people.
That's and this guy right here, man, social media is such
not
a
helpful.
Fraud.
I know it is.
It's such a fraud.
It is.
This dude could have had a rental car.
Already.
You know what I'm saying?
Already in front of the Airbnb.
Yeah.
Already.
And because I know people that actually do that. Have videos. Oh, y'all just bought this crib, this 4-bedroom, 3-bath up in the hills and this. And bruh just like rented the Airbnb for the day. And now you got people in there, oh, congratulations. Oh, man, boss moves, this and that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just for the likes. You know what I'm saying?
And then they about to have a 3-part course that
then
you
they
can
finna
buy.
be in that OG Keith Lee kitchen where he was sitting in that little Paw Patrol chair when he first came in the game.
Yeah.
Y'all remember seeing his old videos. Then all of a sudden you back there. Like, wait a minute. You had the 5-bedroom. What happened in the pool?
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
And most of these cats, I mean, you have people that actually came up that have written books, help books and everything like that and grinded. But then you have people like that. Well, just shoot me 1,000. Lord gonna bless you with 10,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That kind of move.
You can see him making that segue right there.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you are ready to go to the next level,
You know that's coming.
golden seeds need to be sown.
Bible says they making merchandise of you.
And I
That's
believe
a cold line.
you're here today not by mistake. You're listening.
Can you imagine that? The Bible saying they're making merchandise of you. That's one of the dopest ways to say that. You're the product. You're the product.
Fleecing the flock.
And I saw somebody put a post up that says, man, it's crazy how many people are trying to teach you how to run a business that don't run a business. Like find out who they have actually scaled to what have they actually done besides ask you to help you with your business? Who have they actually helped yet? Because you're going to buy these $100 courses from somebody that's never started a business. The only business they have is telling you that they can help you with your business. They never actually scaled.
You know who
That's
bites
crazy.
Who bites what they do though, and that's what's so weird about that. People who are hungry for money.
Yeah.
And they don't really know how it's generated. That's my whole reason of saying, look, this is what real value around you is in America. I don't know about, New Zealand. I just, but I'm just saying here in America, these are the things that I know hold value. So that's one thing. So understand that and know that you're going to be hearing all kind of people on the internet say all kind of things are value and, and at the end of the pitch is, give them some money.
You gotta be a cold dude to sell somebody a bottle of prayer water.
Ooh.
That's still happening too, Buki. And I was like, I just knew at this point that just didn't work no more. You know what I mean? Like being a milkman. Like, nigga waking up tomorrow, I'm going to be the neighborhood milkman. It's like, dude, nobody's asking for a milkman anymore. That was dope at one point. Where people got refrigerators now and just not the popping thing.
Selling prayer shawls for like $100 a pop.
But bottled water, holy water, and holy relics type things to help you.
Prayer shawl. A lot of, but they wised up. They wised up. Just what they pivoted to. They wised up to giving that stuff away. That's the trinket that they give away for free. But then they'll circle back. They'll spin the block. Now you got to buy the book. Or they'll circle back with the Cash App. You ever seen the dude who's giving you the wisdom? We got the Cash App thing on there.
No, because I stay away from that. Oh, but you know what? I have access now. Because with bootleg television, I have all of the religious channels as well.
That's wild. That's wild.
Dude, I thought the word network was over with, bruh.
They still going?
They still here.
Where is my man that turned into the airplane still on there? You ever seen that dude?
No,
Man,
bruh.
this dude
But what
turned
I'm saying
into
is
an
I need to
airplane
be
for the
checking. I'm
jump.
just reminding myself, like, no, I need to be checking in.
The
You have
Word
access.
Network is still going.
I didn't have no idea, James. Yes. TBN stronger than ever.
TBN still going
I know they
strong?
going. I knew they
Word Network. I was like, really? Yes, Gerald, I'm still here thriving.
Hey, but look at me. You know, I'm in my scripture bag today, but this scripture is exactly what you said, Jay. It's 1 Timothy 6. It says, those who want to be rich fall into temptations, traps, and many foolish and harmful desires and plunge into ruin.
So as soon
That's
as
exactly what you said.
So as soon as the dude slammed the door in the Lamborghini, they set up straight like, oh man,
He's blessings on blessings.
Come on.
I
knew I needed to cut. I need to go to my job tomorrow and tell my boss I need to cut you off. You one of them people. You the first. Wait a minute, bruh. You finna mess up your job.
Man, do
right
not
now. Listening to that stranger on the internet, bruh. Stop
slamming
it.
somebody Lamborghini doors.
Man, we grew up in the era, don't listen to strangers and don't take candy from strangers.
Yeah.
And I don't. I get online and I still don't. Like,
I just want to comment stranger danger in the post.
Hey, Book, I think I'm going to start doing that. Just showing up, straight up, stranger danger.
Stranger danger.
Tell it on you. This is something to stay away from.
But play the next one. Play the next one because it's part of our world. That's why we gotta know. Like, we gotta say something, Buki. We cannot leave these dudes to their own devices. We gotta say something to them. So if let's say that they're not in the right mind, like you got a young guy. He think he going to the NBA. Like, fam, you're not even on your high school team now. How you halfway to the NBA? You're not even starting on your high school team now. Let's talk about this. All right, make it to the NBA. In the meantime, what we gonna do since you're 14 and you're not good at basketball now? I don't know if you can tell them not to go to the NBA, but
what you got here for us?
Come on, man.
If you are not willing to fight your grandmother over the last $5 in her pocketbook, how can you call yourself a hustler? Supposed to get it by any means. Even if that means throwing Big Mama from the train. Sacrifices. I haven't seen my wife and kids in 92 days. You think I'm losing sleep? No. I'm dream chasing. Why would I clock into a minimum wage job when I can sit at home selling earring backs on Amazon? There's ways to get it. You just gotta know the ways. Let's talk about it. I've been homeless for 5 years, sacrificing for the dream. You shower at home, I shower at Planet Fitness. We both shower. Except I only pay $10 a month to do it. Dream chasing. Doctors keep telling us we need 8 hours of sleep to function. I only need 8 minutes. You think they know what they're talking about because they got PhDs and doctorates? I'm a dream chaser. How many planets are in the solar system? 8. They said 9 before, but it's 8 now. Pluto's a moon. I get a minute worth of sleep for every planet.
A minute for every
This
planet.
who you up against, bro. If you cut off the youngsters that's, kind of like how we were when we was 19, 17, this what they left to. That's the other side of that.
Somebody gonna believe that.
Bro.
Nah.
Hustle culture. I ain't seen my kids in 92 days.
Nah,
bro.
hustle
Dream
culture.
chasing.
Hey, yo, let me tell you again. That was an observation. Being outside of the country again, that hustle culture is something that we have exported from here. But let me tell you, I feel like being a part of this experiment here on the West Coast, some of that is it's kind of like part of the experiment. Let's see how much a person can take as far as work in a very, very fast-paced environment.
Yeah.
And then offer different kind of meds or whatever, and then keep the stats on everybody, just see what work, because they trying to be around here for a while. So they just testing things out. And we be going at this fast pace, and I'm like, bruh, it's not That's not happening everywhere.
And now we all got anxiety. I never had anxiety before I turned a certain age. Now all of a sudden I'm having panic attacks because I'm trying to keep up with all this schedule. I ain't getting no sleep.
No sleep.
Ain't seen my kids. Ain't spent no time with my wife.
Because you bought into everything that he clowning about in that video right there. Like you bought into it. Like, nah, we not gonna sleep.
Yeah,
we not gonna be normal. Have practice. We're not gonna use practicality.
The grind don't sleep.
Yeah, and it's like
the grind don't stop.
Like, nah,
sleep when I'm dead.
I sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah, I understand going hard.
What?
And people, burning the midnight oil, trying to just like somebody in college trying to pass the finals and all. I understand having those moments.
Right.
But living at that level of intensity all the time and trying to normalize that and saying that's the only way that you're gonna make it to. I understand sacrificing.
Yeah.
I understand doing the things that others may not want to do or whatever, and you not being distracted and have to focus for a certain length of time to get somewhere else. I think anybody trying to graduate from college has to go through that. You know what I mean? It's just a normal thing in life. But to say that you're supposed to live at 10 and and not sleep and cut out for all these like practical things just to perform at a different level, I don't know. Like the Olympics, do you think an Olympic athlete is gonna say, well, you know what, I'm gonna sacrifice sleep, and no, they can't sacrifice sleep. They can't.
Your body can't handle
you
that.
Can't handle it, and they're gonna watch what they eat, and they're gonna watch to perform well, right?
Right.
So why I'm gonna listen to this idiot right here? And I'm trying to just perform, just halfway decent, just be a good student or a good worker or a good whatever, and not sleep and not do these things like somebody who's taking care of their body would. So I don't know. I don't know.
Dope. And that's Devarion. I hope I say his name right. We'll put the link in the thing for him. He's silly, man. His timeline just be clowning all these internet gurus trying to tell you all this stuff. His man said, I'd rather sell earring backs on Amazon than have a job.
Did a 9 to 5? Listen to me. Like, no, bro.
So this takes me back to the black job. I told you I'm not letting you off the hook. This goes back to the black jobs conversation. They didn't want to have, Wookie, where it's like the easy thing to do is to demonize the message coming from 45, of course. We don't want to hear him say nothing. But for a long time, the people that used to say that same thing, like they're giving our jobs away, was us. Our leaders were saying that and using it to point out people who didn't have our best interests in mind. Because a 9 to 5 is nothing to be ashamed of, and an industrial arts job is nothing to look down at. Those are still 6-figure jobs. You still have to sit in a classroom. You still have to learn a trade and a skill, and it's valuable to bring to the table.
Absolutely.
But for a long time, those jobs were being offered to anybody who wanted them. And since traditionally minorities were boxed out a lot of what you would call prestigious jobs in the office, whatever, they would go after those jobs and they would get them and they would make a good living. And then somewhere along the way, those jobs started to dry up. And I think there was some kind of systemic plan to make sure. No, let me finish. Don't step on me. There was a systemic plan to make sure that the black man couldn't be the head of their household anymore. So what's a good way to do that? Put a bunch of feminine energy jobs on the table. The women will get those jobs, which is dope. But the men might not thrive as well. And they may not climb the corporate ladder as easy because there's a lot of compromising integrity sometimes with that when you're a man. They may not ask the lady to do those compromises. But I've seen firsthand how they'll try to challenge that male energy in the corporate area. And you got to decide, like, am I going to wild out and flip this desk over right now? Or am I going to take this L because I need this raise or this promotion? And it's not everywhere. It's not everything. But I think that's absolutely part of it. Y'all don't think there's nothing to that?
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. You can ask my coworkers. When I went in there, my last job, because there were all women at the window at the public social services. When I came down there, I talked to them and I tell them, "Oh, y'all need some male energy down here. Y'all need some alpha male vibes down here." And I told them that,
and I bet they laughed.
And they laughed. They're like, but then they seen the difference from when I was down there, and they was like, "Yeah." Now they say, "Oh, Lamar, we miss you," because it's real. it's needed. You know what I'm saying? Like that male, and not no toxic.
I know what you mean.
We know that.
You know what I'm saying? But it's somebody to take charge. You need a male presence there. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way.
It's just a nice balance to have. We love the feminine thing. We love the male thing. They both bring different things to the table on average.
Mm-hmm. And then like a lot of our conversation behind the window was personal conversation. Well, Lamar, what you think about this? Oh, a man did this. What do you think about if a man do this and such and such? Mm-hmm. So I was able to give my perspective from a man's point of view, and not only from a man's point of view, but from my worldview.
Is it other guys there at this moment? Are you the only guy?
I'm the only guy down there.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Guy. And there's another guy that's on the opposite side, but it was 10 of us in this unit, and only the most we had was 3 men in there out of the 10. But most of the time it was only 2. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm convinced that there's something to this that's really ruining a lot of the progress that we could have been making. I think we talk about this, Boogie, like trying to say that black jobs are demeaning or something like that. Like, oh yeah, you meant something racist. Okay, there's a racist element to that. I'll give you that.
Black jobs, you think so?
Yeah.
When I think about that term, do you, like us in Southern California, do you think there's a such thing as a Mexican job?
I think it's what?
No.
Yes. Let me tell you.
Culture wise, yeah, they do.
Culture wise, this is what I'm saying.
They've created their own job.
So yes and no. I'm sorry. Yes and no. Go ahead.
See, in California, we would consider the neighborhood gardener a Hispanic job, right?
A lot of people would absolutely book it,
right?
Hey, if the black dude pull up
and
I'm a gardener,
because
he's not going. Listen, let me say this:
it's because they dominate that.
If the black dude pulls up and wants to be your gardener, some people thinking twice, like, I don't know if you can do that.
It depends.
Is that what y'all saying?
But if you're the black dude, like I encountered, if you're the black dude that own the lawn service, but you got a bunch of Mexicans working for you, who would you hire him? Heck yeah, that dude was cleaning up. But he also said it's hard for him to keep workers though too.
But this is what I'm saying. It's location. Because if you go down to Atlanta, to Mississippi, Louisiana, all these other places,
absolutely,
it's a black job.
It's a black job.
You go down there. It's blacks working all those industries.
Yeah.
And those are lucrative jobs, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's an industry.
Landscaping is huge.
Are you kidding me?
You got a landscaping firm? That's dope.
Dude, if you do landscaping and you could just do pools. I know a brother who just do pools. Brother, you can clean up, especially in a place like California, but he's in Texas. And he's like, these hot places like Arizona too, these places where people have to have pools, and Vegas and all that, people clean up, bruh.
So I have a question. I have a tough question that really takes some real honest thought. Why would a job that's in the industrial arts area be thought of as a black job? What could possibly have happened over the last 100 years that made the CEO corporate desk job feel like it wasn't for us?
I don't know.
Because we were working in the factories.
We weren't given the opportunities to be over there.
No.
Those opportunities are new, like in the past 50 years. And it ain't because we wasn't capable. Of course, we just as capable as anybody else, just like our ladies are. But there's something to the black man being in those prestigious positions that a lot of people who had the opportunity to hire and fire was not finna give to us.
Well, here's the thing.
So they wasn't giving us that job.
See,
so we had to go make a living over here where we were actually going to be hired.
Nah, I think historically, and
that's something we got to talk about.
Nah, my mom talks about this. Historically, where we messed up was, and where the struggle really, really began in that sense.
Integration.
Exactly. It was integration. It's like, James, you don't have to worry about somebody giving you a job when you have your own community and your own community has needs. Just like I was just talking about the Mexican job. Of course, there's a Mexican job. How about Mexican food for Mexican people? Now, Gerald, what do you mean? It's their culture's food. They serving their families first. We benefiting from that. That's their culture. It was so funny. A dude in Atlanta checked me. because he was like, man, all y'all black people come from LA out here talking about y'all want some tacos. Y'all, that culture has like so integrated with y'all. Y'all come out here looking for tacos. That ain't black people food. You know what I'm saying? That's his stance. But see, who's telling me that? A brother who's born and raised in the South, and all he knows is majority like black and white and soul food, and us making our own food and our own community and talking about our own stuff, not talking about we want tacos.
That's the truth. My grandmother, my grandmother, I don't think she ever made tacos and burritos before.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't like the way that sometimes people who listen might be thinking we're trying to reduce this question, this topic down to just like the stereotypes of what this crew is capable of. But none of us believe that. We all believe that every type of person is capable of greatness and wickedness. That's how we think. That's what the Imago Dei teaches you. That's why we love the Christian perspective on race. It's like y'all are all the same. But what happens to us is different though. Yeah. Circumstances are different, and what we don't want to give 45 credit for. No, I'm serious. What we don't want to give him credit for is saying that
no politics. We almost made it.
I wasn't letting us know because it goes back to some of the Holy Cougar conversation. We've been having the same conversation all night. Some of our guys don't think they can talk to some of the ladies because some of the systemic infrastructures have put ladies in position where they don't have to listen to us. And so that creates that boss lady that don't have to submit because she's the breadwinner. Why is she the breadwinner? Is it because the guy's dumb or something he can only work with his hand? No, of course not. It's because he wasn't necessarily exposed to the type of job he was going to thrive in, where he would have built that landscaping firm. He would have built that construction firm or whatever.
That's a good point.
That's happening. That is our story.
Yeah.
So when dude says they giving y'all jobs away, you know that, right? They giving y'all jobs away. He's not as far off as he sounds. That used to be our rally cry at these same rallies. They are giving our stuff away. Now you can say like, okay, well, what about the Mexican coming across the border? I love him too. He should thrive. He should take advantage of everything too. But there's something to be said for how we were singled out. Black men were singled out. Like we don't want them to thrive. We're not letting. I let his woman thrive before I let him thrive.
Yeah, that came way back. Yeah, that happened. That's systematic, bro.
That's systemic. That happened.
Yeah, that come from way back in the day.
But it ain't over yet. That's what I'm saying. Even though the opportunities are great, we have wonderful opportunities to do all kind of, like I say, I got soft hands, been at a desk job for 30 plus years. But I've had a couple of times where some white lady tried to talk crazy to me on the floor, and I had to go into the office, and this is somebody I had to directly report to. Like, you're not going to ever talk to me like that again in front of my team. And if we need to go to HR right now, you let me know. I'm ready to go. But I have no problem doing this job, but you're not going to ever talk to me like that again on this floor. Are we cool about that? Because I've never tried to talk to you like that, and we're equals in this area. And she tried to backtrack and walk it back and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, listen, we can go to HR whenever you're ready. You're not going to ever talk to me like that again in front of anybody. And from that point on, everything was different. Yeah. Everything was different. But
alpha male vibes right there. That's what I'm talking about. Can I get a cheers? Can I raise a glass to my man for that? That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I've experienced that also. Right. But I had to hold on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What are them conversations?
So like part of this, when I see like the young boys doing the smash and grab, whatever, and stealing thousands of dollars out the Nike store, I'm thinking like 4 of those dudes could have been electricians. They don't want to sit at a desk, so they frustrated. And they acting out in all the wrong ways. Ain't no excuse for that. But I'm like, if these dudes could have just been pointed in the right direction, 2 of them dudes is firemen, 2 of them dudes is cops, 2 of them dudes are CEOs and engineers and doctors, of course. But some of them ain't, and they notice it, and they like, I don't want to be sitting around in some 9-to-5 desk job. So they acting out. They don't see no future for themselves. I remember being that dude. I didn't see no future for myself. So who cares? Let's get high. Let's get drunk. I don't care about nothing because I don't see nothing working out. And I see these dudes running in, stealing stuff, and whatever they moving work. They like, I'd rather do anything except take orders from somebody who I know don't care about me.
Can I tell you this?
Talk about it.
This is my prayer that after I graduate, I'm gonna take a few more classes after I graduate because I want to get my pupil personnel certificate.
Okay.
My goal really is to be a school counselor, an athletic director.
Nice.
Because for the same reason that James talking about, the same thing I've have experienced. There were careers out here that I didn't know nothing about. I didn't know nothing about a hedge fund manager until I was like 30.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could what a who? I didn't know nothing about being a banker. I thought a banker was the dude that cash my check at the teller. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Like I didn't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? These are it's jobs out here.
Yeah.
That even like people that love the music industry, whatever. Bro, you can work behind the scenes.
So many jobs behind the scenes.
Yeah, like I had this conversation with my son. I said, you don't have to play in the NFL to be a part of the NFL.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You could be an agent. You could be whatever, marketing director. You can do a whole bunch of different things.
Dude, when we went to that game,
That's
we were
right.
at Marshall's birthday party, and I just sat there.
Yeah.
That night, I realized how much it takes for a game to go
It's
on.
a serious production, fam.
It's a very serious
Yeah,
one,
that was
and that was
one
one game. That wasn't the Super Bowl. That wasn't the
A random Thursday night.
It was the regular. This is what the NFL is,
Right.
And I saw all the jobs it created.
Right.
Do you know an equipment manager there has to put all the uniforms together, the socks, the headbands, the cleats.
Right.
I mean, they have multiple pair of cleats depending on the weather.
Right.
Yeah.
He has to do this in every city.
And my swag different from yours, so
Look.
you better have my stuff
Exactly.
that I'ma really wear. I don't wear what you wear.
Me and James hanging out because it was a dope. The dude had a suite and stuff, so we was on the ground. It was a dope night. So we soaking up all of it. And the game been over, but we still posted up sitting out there. And we watching the dude literally wash down like the logo because they had to change it, right? They had to change it to somebody.
Chargers coming in
Chargers
3
coming in,
days.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, dude, that's that dude's job.
Right.
It was like, okay, he coming on. He probably did some other stuff earlier, but right now, he about to remove this and they about to put that.
And that's a
other one on
skilled
there.
position, bro.
And I'm like,
Which one?
Painting the logos
Man.
and everything on the field.
Where?
That's a skilled position.
it is, bruh.
The
And
machine
I'm like,
was massive.
the machine that
You
he
kill
right
somebody,
now-
you don't know what you're doing with that.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
a big
Yeah,
machine.
just- but
And you talking about millions of dollars. You go in there and mess up a logo. Yeah,
and that's
never seen that
dog.
stuff.
It was
Yeah.
two. That's just two jobs. You know, I don't even know what the job of the dude that was rolling with the crane back and forth with the camera.
Yeah.
that was right in front of what job is that?
That's how
did
you watch that's how you see all them dope little angles.
I understand, but it's just this
crazy.
dude on this little thing on this crane
It's not
going
to do
back
with the
and-
camera.
But check-
It's somebody keeping him right.
my
what I'm saying.
a church member, one of my church members, worked in the background. He the one who brings in the snacks and everything off the forklift, off the trucks and everything.
Okay.
So they can distribute it amongst the concession stands.
Concession is a
You're
whole.
not thinking about nobody doing that.
concession is a
That's
whole
a
thing,
big
man.
And he had to have special license, what you call it, heavy machinery certificate in order to get that job.
Right.
to be able. To
Those are all 6-figure jobs. We know people that's running.
See what I'm saying?
Every license you get
and you
to
ain't
run
named
those, you making 20
and we
more
still
grand.
ain't named one player yet. And
Not
we
one football player.
And we ain't even scratched the surface of all the jobs that we can just see right there at the arena of you know. So yes, to say all that, but how do you celebrate it? How do you bring it back in the forefront? I mean, I try to hint.
They have to know, and this is my
If they're
this
not
is
doing
my
it
goal.
in school, how else they gonna know?
Us.
People like me, if I get the job,
I hear you. That's what you're saying.
I am able to put this in their minds.
Exactly.
I'm able to show them, look, it's more to being you want to be a rapper, football player.
I
And
think
all
that's
that.
finally playing out too.
Yeah,
being a rapper
like,
is finally
bruh,
playing
you have
out.
opportunities. You have opportunity, man. Even growing up, I didn't know it was as many HBCUs that it
know,
was. We
I
just
know.
knew we knew Grambling, Howard, Morehouse, and you know what I'm saying.
That's right.
That was about. And then if it was a football player that came up, Alcorn State, Steve McNair, you know what I'm saying. That's how we found out who these. We didn't know it was all these different HBCUs around the country.
Yeah, it's different in LA. We having a different experience.
Yeah,
in LA,
we have a
for sure.
totally different experience
Totally
in
different
LA.
experience. If you back east, it's a totally different world, especially deep south. You having a totally different experience than anybody else.
And these kids need to be exposed to these opportunities.
Yeah. My man was telling me about the stuff that they have on campus at Dorsey. So Dorsey's in the jungles. The jungles always get this bad rap. My man was telling me that Dorsey got this fire like catering facility that has like a culinary arts program. On one side, they got like stainless steel state of the art kitchen where you can learn culinary art, and then on the other side they got like prep, and on the other side they got a cafe where they selling the stuff and giving you all the different aspects of culinary arts, not just cooking, but also running a business and managing all these different orders. And he said that they got a mock trial set up in Dorsey's campus where they do different trials for kids that's having difficulty about to get kicked out of the district or whatever. But it's also where they can have like the mock trial stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that you had at Charles Drew, you know, like the medical like pipeline. I remember I used to date a girl that was at Charles Drew, and she had this medical pipeline that she could go directly across the street and be interning at MLK.
Yeah, this
like, come on, man.
mystery person I don't know about. I don't know whoever that person is. I remember we was talking on another episode, and that person became a mystery. But anyway,
of course, forever a mystery. But you get the idea. Like if you get exposed to stuff
I already
like
know
that,
who it is too, which
real?
is so funny. It's like because it can only be two people in this because they connected over to. And they graduated before I did. I believe who it is, but I know because they connected to that part of the city that you were connected to, and was probably at a school. We probably were at a school together at a certain point.
Whoa, I believe you too. I believe you. So yeah,
because I thought I got there and
don't
nobody
like nothing
knew me.
on none of these channels.
Nah, I ain't even found them though. The people that I think I haven't found them. And
don't share, like, or subscribe.
And that's because
whoever you are,
my 30 years coming up, and they celebrating it. So we've been communicating, and then people, of course, what happens is Facebook. You know, people, upperclassmen and lowerclassmen, they show up too. They start
between Hamilton and CES.
Yeah,
Fairfax,
exactly. Especially Fairfax
and Dorsey. It's just us.
Fairfax ended up being this amazing school that I didn't even know that I was participating in. I was just going there because I knew people who was going there.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that school in the city that people really like, that would have all this history and all these people who had gone to it. I just was at Fairfax and it seemed fun.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
He had them same beads on, Buki. I saw him in the quad. He had them same beads on. I'm like, that dude probably listening to Brand Nubian right now.
Yeah, it was all good when it wasn't.
Probably got bars too.
Until I got involved with LA Max. And LA Max didn't get along with Fairfax Posse, and I had to change schools. That's how that era ended.
Yeah.
What
prep
a
gangs.
life.
Prep gangs.
What a life.
Hey man, I'm sorry for anybody who not feeling the Black Jobs conversation, but my man is on to something.
I thought Black Jobs was like soul food.
No, he talking about the trucking industry too. The trucking industry down there.
What used to be
so
like.
The assumption is there's something demeaning that, oh, you dumb, so you got to do that. No, it's just I don't want to sit at a desk. That's not a black thing, but I mean, that's a male thing. I think it's only being put on minorities because the power class had a 400-year head start. They uncles gonna put them into a desk job, so it's not like they any better than us. They not.
What are the real black jobs, James? What are the real black?
The ones
jobs?
that were
talk about it.
The ones that were put in prison and they couldn't get a high end job because they had a record. So there were certain companies that were hiring them, and so it became like, our thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's one aspect of it, but I don't have no priors. I don't know nothing about no prison.
What is a black job? I just want to know. I want to know what is a black, like we was talking a minute ago, we was like, do we think there's a Mexican job? We were like, yep, there's a Mexican job.
I don't like the way that's being portrayed as if like there's a job that only a Mexican would want or only a Mexican could do, because that ain't what this is about.
Let me tell you,
there's not a job that any particular type
one thing
of
I
person
know
is built
about
for.
Mexicans and their cuisine, you better respect it. They know how to make their food taste like they food.
But that's
what is Jake talking
Wait a
about?
minute.
Yeah, he's
What are you talking about?
So
what that got to do with the job, man?
do they have a corner on what they've created?
It's their culture. Every culture do.
Do we?
Yeah.
So do you think all black soul food places in Los Angeles kitchens are exactly the same?
No way.
No,
Thank
that's
you.
why
No
that's why it's hard to find good soul food in LA.
So this is a conversation
There you
about
go.
nature versus nurture.
So does it? Wait.
Go down south and it's different.
So has somebody
Go down south and it's
So
different.
could you say in LA somebody has taken some black jobs?
Well, let's
Whoa.
get this straight. Because
my boy,
Listen,
he logically going through
it's
it.
a
He's like,
sensitive subject, but I think you got to see it's nature versus nurture. What does that mean? One thing is that's all you can do, little black boy. Nobody's saying that.
we're
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Finish. Nature would say that's all you can do, little black boy. Nobody is saying that. But that's what people are taking away from this conversation. Like, are you saying that's all I'm good enough to do? Nobody is saying that.
Nah.
But nurture would say,
I can say.
Let me finish. You stepping on me. Let me finish. Nurture would say that this is a culture that I'm from, so I know how to cook this food, so naturally I would be good at this. But we know all kinds of people that ain't Mexican that can cook Mexican food, like Selah, Gerald. You are one. You're an example.
But, man,
you've been nurtured to cook that food.
Yeah, but I have a version of their food. I don't sit up here in front, and I watch Mexicans cook, and
That's called nurture.
I watch them. I don't even know what they saying, and I'm following them, and I'm watching them put food together, and I'm like, I don't go through all those steps or whatever, and I don't claim to do stuff exactly.
But you're not
like
supposed to. You're not from that. You're not from that culture.
Exactly. So, but I learn and just.
Just like if
With
you,
food, you can
not
kinda
even
learn.
that, you're not going to make jerk chicken like you would get down in Jamaica.
True.
You gotta find
True.
a Scotch bonnet.
Yeah, you gotta. It's like
Right.
like my aunt's baby daddy is from Jamaica,
All right,
and
so
he
here's-
makes some curry chicken that I've
So
never
here's-
tasted before out here.
So here's where
His
I'm
curry
going.
chicken's delicious.
But all it takes for me to be that is to sit up under the man. That's nurture.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying.
all I'm
Anybody
trying to
can
say
do
is,
that.
Buki, what we need to focus on, because this will create the jobs for us if we feel like we don't have. That's what I'm trying to highlight in this conversation of black jobs.
Oh, you already know. I said that in the last pop.
let
One of
me-
the-
I didn't hear what you're saying. What you saying?
One, I believe
What you highlighting?
there is a thing called black jobs, and they're birthed out of your ethnicity and you serving your culture. We always talking about we run the culture, we are culture, we give flair. Yeah, but we typically give it away. And in the same way that we give it away to all these other places is the same way you see us in LA giving it away in our kitchens. Because we're not the soul food capital of the world because we're not regulating the kitchen like that. Now, if I'm going to a authentic Mexican restaurant, I'm not offended that everybody in that kitchen is Mexican. We really come from this. This is really our heritage. But you know what? That's going to show up in the food. And I know this is going to taste much differently than if you had my people back here trying to. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. They, do whatever you want to do with your kitchen. But what I'm saying is when your culture holds it down and it serves its culture and it's serving something good, the onlooking cultures will, spend money as well. But you're being good at being who God made you be. And I'm saying black people thrive in it too. The way that we impact culture, but there's a component is that we give it away to somebody else. Like our IP, we're gonna give it away to somebody else when they gonna keep theirs, and it's because they know where their value is. And it's like some of it is not having this as long as other people have had access to it. So we're still learning, some of this stuff, but we got to start thinking differently, and we wouldn't feel like we didn't fit in or couldn't get jobs here or couldn't move up because there would be no need to move up in these certain areas because it would be room for you to move up at home if you will. And one thing that I've had the joy of is working with 100% owned black company for the first, and I've been working since the 11th grade, all the way, and I'm going to be 50 years old, Lord say the same at the end of this year, and have worked the majority of that time. There were artistic breaks and things of that nature within that time frame, but mostly I've kept a job since then, but I've only had one that was 100% black owned top to bottom, and it felt totally different going into those meetings than any other meetings that I had ever been in, and seeing black people just being themselves and going, wow, look how much your culture bleeds into what you do at work and how much of that I've sacrificed working for other ethnicities. Nothing wrong with that. I think the world could work together, and I think we all come together.
Yeah, we know that.
You know, all that, you know. But what I'm saying is, for white people to work in a culture that's predominantly, you know, bent towards their success because of the history of this country, when they're in these environments that you're describing, culturally speaking, their culture typically dominates, so they feel at home. There's a different feeling going on when we come into some of these environments that are not, you know.
So hear me out. I'll let you get that off. Let me get this off. I think what's going on is really due to nurture. So part of the conversation is making sure that we understand that nobody is saying that there's a type of job that a black person has DNA to do. That's stupid. We can do everything. We can do anything anybody else can do. We've proven that.
I think
we've proven. Now let me finish. I'll let you get that out. Let me finish.
Nah, I can chime in. We excel with things like basketball. Explain that. I'm telling you,
that's
not that
nurture.
easy.
That's nurture.
What you mean?
Nurture means we celebrate basketball as my uncles played basketball. So I'm going to learn basketball. I see representation of myself on the basketball court in the NBA. So I'm gravitating
But
towards
here's the argument I'm saying.
I see going.
You African Americans, you physically dominate the sport.
Well, there's an aspect of physicality that you could say comes from some of the.
And I'm going to argue you've turned it into a black job. It sure seems like it. It seems like being an NBA player, though anybody is welcome, it's a black job. It seems like it to be on that floor. I'm just saying,
there's a lot
sitting
of
in
people,
the stands watching the people run back and forth, you'd be like,
there's a lot of people in baseball or hockey that chose a different sport because that's what's nurtured, and they would thrive on the basketball court, and they're not black. They would thrive. There's tennis players that would thrive. They're not
black.
But
I'm very comfortable saying, and I don't know, I guess people would challenge me, but I'm comfortable saying that, you know, hockey is dominated by white folks. White folks play hockey. It's all kind of people of color that play hockey. I get that.
It's all kinds?
It's all kinds. I heard somebody talking about it. It's a list. It's a whole bunch of brothers out there playing hockey.
It's a significant group of black people playing ice hockey. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. It used to be a.
And then it's the same thing with race car, but race car driving too. But these are things that have traditionally been dominated by white people, and I don't have any problem with that because they seem to be very good at that.
They're all expensive.
Nah,
everything you named is expensive. Track,
but it's a culture thing.
Everything
it is.
That's true
because there's some black people that live around these rich white people, and they still don't want to play hockey, bro.
Absolutely,
they still want to.
We haven't nurtured that. That's not something we celebrate. Okay. So none of this is in our DNA. Is what needs to be clear. None of these jobs are in our DNA. These jobs are in our culture. We're culture. Yeah. Our culture tells us what is acceptable, what's respectable, what's cool, what's nerdy, what's lame, and none of these things are in our DNA.
I'm sitting up watching the Olympics, and I'm looking at, like, I was watching the women track, and I don't feel racist about it at all, but I was like, black person finna win.
But that's genetics.
Because I'm thinking genetics now.
Go ahead and say it.
Now,
go ahead and say it. You gotta say it.
But if somebody went as far to say, well, seems like a black job to me, I would be like, man, it would be. There's an aspect that's hard to argue that. That's right. Because we're dominating in this certain thing. But
you can't
what's
say
white
that
soul?
there's nothing
What's
in
white soul?
Hispanic
What does that
DNA
say? Black people
and his
dominate.
genetics to say he can change a tire better than a black man. There's nothing in there to say that.
I wouldn't argue that. I would think that's one of those skills that anybody could do. I wouldn't argue that.
But when you look around LA, who owns the tire shops?
Who can wrap the burrito the best? You be like,
but you can't.
Whoever get trained to wrap the burrito the best.
Because I done had some horrible wrap burritos at burrito stands, and I can do this better myself.
That is true.
But what I'm saying is, going back to
that's nurture.
Yeah, but going back to Selah,
but the best,
who owns the tire shops in LA? Most of the tire shops in LA. Dang. And it's not, and you can't say that. Dang. Oh, he was born to be able to change his tire better than a black or a white man.
But he was shown how he could raise a family off that.
Exactly.
And he said, "Oh, I could do it." Okay.
And most likely, his dad probably did it. You know what I'm saying?
That's usually
his uncle probably.
That's what happens with. And see, what it is that each ethnicity, and I've seen in America a lot of, not each, but a lot of them, they built these blueprints for their families, and because like we always be talking about, man, these Indians. Remember, we always say these Indians always got these 7-Elevens. But what happened is, when you do your homework, you realize that they built a blueprint, for them and their family, and one person did it, and then the other one went back and like, yo, this is the blueprint, and they just rocked.
The black community has no niche.
That's called nurture.
The black community has no niche.
That's called nurture.
So you look up and
Right?
we got hip hop, which is dope. We made billionaires, so that count.
But here's what
how many people are rappers?
It counts.
How many? No,
I'm
it
just
don't.
saying
It don't count.
It counts.
We're talking about
What
a
you
regular.
mean?
No, we're talking about a niche in the community. You have the Indians who, when you go to the motel down there, who most likely own the motels?
Yeah.
Who most likely owns the beauty supply shops? Who most likely
It seems
own
like a Korean thing. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Who most likely own the mechanic shops?
You're right.
What do black people own mostly in our communities?
Louis belts.
Where's our niche?
Nah, that's what we raised our kids, because our kids was kind of.
I'm just saying, where's our niche,
We
James?
turning that around, James. I'm just clowning.
No, I'm hearing you. I'm just clowning too. I feel like we're setting ourselves up to believe a lie. Maybe I should say it like that.
In what way?
We're setting ourselves up to believe that there's a type of job that we're better at, and that's not true.
Basketball, dancing, rapping, absolutely.
Shucking and jiving.
But the problem is, like I keep telling you, we don't own the IP, and so we just because they can't be the dude who makes all the dance crazes, who be making all the fashion stuff hot. Now a lot of people contribute, all kind of cultures contribute. I'm just saying, who be making it hot?
That's us.
When Beyonce do
That's
something,
us.
what is that?
That's
She's
culture.
black,
That's
bruh.
us. That's why I said
Sports and entertainment.
black.
We got hip hop.
How many of us can be involved in sports entertainment?
But Bookie, what we need to
Yes, what I'm saying.
Nah, but what you need to understand is what we were saying earlier, hinting to get involved in it just behind the scenes. There's a lot of stuff that you can do, and yes, you can bring your creativity, your blackness, but behind the scene, I think the problem is we put too much weight on the person up front, and we got a lot of people trying to be that. But I think, really, honestly, I think that's changed. This current generation is not like, they're not celebrity culture driven. That's why so many of their celebrities, if you will, or famous people are just like regular people, like just people who put out good content. It's not necessarily because Kevin Hart put out something, it's tight. It's like Mr. Beast can put out something and they think it's dope. You know what I mean? So that has, I think, changed a little bit as we've had more access to each other, and we can, I don't know, share differently.
I'm glad to see more men cooking though.
Yeah,
that's always been the case, Boogie. Why do people think that men just started cooking? That's always been the case. Who been the chefs historically? Like, who been the chefs?
I
Not
have
black
no
men.
idea. If I can be honest, I'm
black men.
not told who was doing none of that.
First of all,
I wasn't
Growing up,
exposed.
gonna be sad.
I seen Emerald and Pop
You're
Squad.
gonna be sad.
Yeah,
It was
because
Italian chefs.
There was some super dope black chefs that, man, they just got used.
We've never seen none of them.
They got used by presidents, like something horrible. Like, so we've been because it's something that, like, we, as much as stereotypical as it sounds, dude, that fried chicken come from us. Mm-hmm. Like, that's our thing. That ain't that is seriously a black. It's like we taught the world how to do that.
But how many people
That's
have you
one
seen?
of the things we taught.
How
the
many
world
black
how to do.
men besides G Garv that you've seen on the Food Network?
That's because, okay, Bookie, let's go back.
But I'm saying
Who
we're
owns
going
the Food
back
Network?
to. But
And
listen,
that's the end of that story.
No, but I'm saying we're going back to the same conversation that
that's
we
the
were
end
having
of that.
earlier, James. We're not represented.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's like not an option for us because we're not being
I'm
represented.
gonna tell you what
I can't
what
be
happened.
what I never see.
Exactly.
I can't
I'm
be
gonna
what
tell you
never
what I
see.
saw. This was a beautiful thing.
But I can be anything.
Maybe if BET put out some black chef shows instead of Meg Thee Stallion and Sexy Red videos all the time, then
Nah,
we can see that, have that option.
I hear you.
that's true, but unfortunately, we still flock to Meg before we.
Because BET do have some other dope stuff in the back end. They do have some dope stuff, but that ain't gonna move the meter, right? So you got to put the whatever sells.
So it's exactly
They got
that's what it
dope
is.
stuff.
It's whatever sells, bro, and we don't care nothing about our community because it's not making enough dollars for us.
The thing is, Boogie, if we build up our community, we'll make enough dollars. Like if we built up our own community and our own networks, we of course would be celebrating more chefs, more black everything, because the community would need it. And so we'll need more than one black mechanic, you know what I mean? And so we're going to support him and you and whoever else because we have a community. The thing is that we struggle because our community is splintered. And it was something that we was talking about a little bit about Kamala Harris and her not officially being black. And so what it is America is a melting pot of all these people of color. But I think our struggle, especially right now, is how do we unify and create that community? Because it doesn't matter what is happening in the political climate from my perspective for the Mexican, because his culture is intact and there's money to be made. Like when I see all the taco stands that are set up at night all over the place, that's their culture and that's their impact. And they people pull up. But we'll pull up too because we ain't haters. So we'll pull up or whatever. But primarily, you put that out there, and the first people gonna show up is your culture. The thing is we don't have that same impact. So we roll out and we do the same thing, but the support is not built in like a lot of theirs is, because culturally speaking, that's how they get down. That's how they're gonna take care of themselves. We had that at a certain point before integration. We had it. Like my mom talks about, the night they were figuring out how they were going to win being king and queen at their now predominantly white school that they bust into. And so here they had a meeting at a soda shop that some black people in their community own. They went and put this plan together. It's a beautiful story. They ended up winning, and the way that they won is they all stuck together. They all agreed to vote for my mom and somebody else. So you got a bunch of white kids who's a predominant voting for all these different people. Then you got this concentrated group all voting, and they ended up rocking the vote.
Voting black.
And then they ended up, when the yearbooks came out, my mom was hurt by it though, but when the yearbooks came out, they had a picture in the yearbook of the king and queen. These white folks tore that book page out the book, and she said you could see the page all over the campus.
Whoa!
But the lesson is that kind of my werewolf lesson, that when a minority gets together and has additional information, they can rule the majority. And that's what that game was.
Can I tell you this little story real fast?
Yeah.
I seen a video. It was this guy who was he was a drug dealer, whatever, and he went over to China to meet the head of the triads, right? And so the head of the triads came out and wanted to talk to him. They said he never did this before. He don't even like deal with like people in person. But he said he went and talked to him. He said, you know what? The problem with you guys are, this is what he's talking about, the black people. He said, you guys are the leaders of the culture. He said, but y'all problem is, even in this game, y'all can't work together. And that's the truth. No matter what industry, we can't, for some reason, we can't work together.
Yep.
And we can't build. Whether it's illegally or legally. We can't do it. We don't do it. I don't know if it comes from like past or is it systematic or whatever it is.
I believe it's more systematic, and what it takes for communities to thrive is the blueprint was, and I've heard several black people tell me this, older black people say, the blueprint is what we should have just watched what our Jewish brothers and sisters did. Because they went through similar hate, being, in a position where politically nobody's really helping you. And
right.
You have to like band together.
You talking about here?
Yeah.
In America.
I'm just saying, just in general, just their stories in general. There was a time when Jewish people were talked about, and Italians too, were talked about as just like African Americans are, like very derogatory, like I can't help, don't want to help them, can't trust them, whatever. And they were kind of put in those ways. Similar situation where they just had to band together. Now what they did was built up their communities. They didn't spread out. And what happened with us was integration is that we didn't build up our community. We just spread out everywhere. And now, and so everybody's kind of like trying to survive really in other people's communities. But there are places in America, like Atlanta's one of them, and there's a couple of other spots that's similar to Atlanta, where it's concentrated Black people who have built up their communities, and like you said, see their gardeners and all that other stuff they see as African Americans and have always seen that. But us on the West Coast, we struggle. We border another country. That's one thing, and then a lot of their influence, as it should be, is here in this area as well. But in Southern California, people have built up certain communities, and like Ethiopians have built up their community.
Everybody got a community. You got Little Tokyo, Koreatown, Little Ethiopia.
But Black, what is
Cambodia
that?
town, all that.
Yep, China.
We got a couple clusters too. We do all right.
Yeah.
Lamert, Ladera.
Yeah, clusters.
We got little clusters too.
But not super strong where you feel like you really are in a Black community here in the West. And that's a struggle. But you know what I think some of it is? And this is me, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not too messed up about that. I'm not weirded out that I share the space with all these different ethnicities. It's because I think if it did, I would have left by now.
Yeah.
If it weirded me out and all that, I'd just be like, But I kind of dig it. I've in this stage of life, I'm digging going into your community and just hanging out. Because for so long, I had the perspective you didn't want me in your community, and maybe some didn't. As an African American male here in America, but as of late in this season of life, man, I am a community visitor.
You out here.
I'm in your community, and I will walk around it. I will ride a bike in it. I will whatever. Like I belong there. I'm going to enjoy it because.
How does your food taste? Okay, what you want me to do? You want me to eat it with these chopsticks? Sure.
Wow.
How should I dip this in? Okay. What else do you guys do?
Because in the 90s in high school, I wasn't allowed in South Bay, but now I hang out in South Bay.
You know what I mean? We was terrified to be in it.
We was too dark to hang out in South Bay.
I was terrified.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Me and Zayla wasn't going to South. We wasn't going to no
Every
Torrance
time we
or El
did,
Segundo.
when we were young, we were always getting and hang out in Torrance.
Yo,
in Torrance?
Sundown Town.
You remember that?
Yes.
I remember, and I'm 5 years younger than Zayla.
I had a classic moment with Chris Randolph being pulled over there, and I went home. He didn't. And it was Torrance. And then we worked at the LA Times, this was in Rancho Dominguez, right off of there. And then this girl that worked there, she dated a dude that was in Torrance PD and talked about he was a brother, and just talked about how racist them cops was in that police force.
Really?
And I remember that. And it was a place you didn't want to be. You didn't want to be in the South Bay. You didn't want to be in Torrance.
They just had a big scandal a couple years ago.
Now you can't keep me out of there. My wife would be like, "Hey, they got a new restaurant over there in Torrance.
Where you going? I'm going to Mimosa Beach.
Exactly.
Where you going? I'm Redondo Beach. I hear John up. John, let's go to the coffee shop. Which one? Oh, Redondo Beach over there. That's my spot.
Baby.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out anywhere.
I'm hanging out. But
from Manhattan Beach to Redondo.
Exactly.
You might catch me up in PV, depending on how I'm feeling.
Don't let me hear that I'm not supposed to be there. Because me and my girl showing up. If I hear we're not supposed to be here, well, we're showing up.
Shout out to the Red Onion in Palos Verdes, and they got a Thai spot up there that's off the cliff, looking over the baby.
I know.
Who told me to go to
my
Joey's?
money bags and everything. Joey's the spot.
Who told me to go to Joey's? That was
I think that was me.
But that's how
Fire.
That's what makes it hard to leave Southern California, though.
Right.
Because you can hang out at all these spots, bro, and we take it for granted, but that's not everywhere. And as long as you're not wearing, I'm really not supposed to be here, and all of that, some of that Black anxiety that a brother's still working through.
Right.
There's a lot to enjoy. And you'll find that a lot of people in Southern California ain't tripping. You know, of course, we in America, so you're subject to run into anybody racist anywhere. But I don't wear that. I'm telling y'all, I've been shaking that off.
You don't walk around with that, like, assuming oh, it's going to go bad.
Nah, I'm too old, man. Yeah. I'm just an old man now. That's how I feel.
This generation is no different
times, so you know it ain't always just a problem.
I know it's not, bro.
You had good times.
I'm just saying this. So I'm having more fun pushing those thoughts away.
Yeah.
Versus going, oh man, let me and just realizing how much of that is like you torturing yourself, bro. It's like everybody ain't hung up about the fact that you black, bro. Some of them ain't tripping. And once you know, sense that, move on, have a good time, enjoy this moment. Everything about ain't black and white. Was you trying to say something, Bookie?
Oh no.
No. Is that it, fellas?
It's dope, man.
That seems like it is.
Yeah.
Well, brothers, bring it in. It has been a good talk. This has been real. And I want to thank everybody again, seriously, who've been listening, who can get this far in episodes, who've been telling me they, really been impacted by it and saying things like, they loving the transparency and what's transpiring. So y'all continue to share it. See us out there in socials and everybody.
And we got some dope Hispanic and white friends too.
Oh, now you want to sound like that at the end. He want to sound like that. I just, for the record, I know we talked about a lot of racial things, but I'm friends with everybody.
Yeah, like we got some
Pastor Rudy.
Shout out to Rudy. I was talking to Rudy today, man. That's my guy. Straight up, 100.
We gotta have him.
I love that dude.
All right, bring it in, y'all. Raise your glass. Let's go. Let's get up out of here. We all fall, but we say don't trip. We all been called, but all stall a bit. We all stand tall until that time we slip. But just admit, without the grace of God, I'm really bad at this.